1881 to 1827. Pickwick Club, London. Joseph Smiggers, Esquire, presiding. The following resolutions have been unanimously adopted. 1. That this club is heard read with feelings of unmingled satisfaction. The lecture communicated by Samuel Pickwick, Esquire, entitled Speculations on the Source of the Ponds of London, with some original observations on the theory of pollywogs. 2. That while this club is deeply sensible to the advantages which must accrue to the cause of science from these aforesaid researches, it also entertains a lively sense of the inestimable benefits which must inevitably result from a carrying of that learned gentleman's speculations into a wider field, which objective can only be obtained by extending of his travels. 3. That with this view in mind, this club is unanimously approved and sanctioned a proposal emanating from the aforesaid Samuel Pickwick, Esquire, to form the corresponding society of the Pickwick Club. The membership of this aforesaid corresponding society of the Pickwick Club will comprise the following 4 honorable Pickwickians. Samuel Pickwick, Esquire, PPM, PC, to wit, perpetual president member, Pickwick Club.
Pickwick! Mr. Chairman!
Joseph Smiggers, Esquire, PCM, PC, to wit, perpetual chairman member, Pickwick Club.
The chair recognizes Mr. Pickwick.
Thank you. May I proceed?
Proceed.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the Pickwick Club, my dear friends, everyone, fame, I have observed, is dear to all men. Poetic fame is dear to the heart of my friend, Mr. Snodgrass.
Augustus Snodgrass.
The fame of amorous conquest is dear to my friend, Mr. Tupman.
Tracy Tupman.
And the desire of winning fame in all the sports of the field, the air, and the water is uppermost in the breast of my friend, Mr. Winkle.
Nathaniel Winkle.
Nor can it be denied that I myself am influenced by human passions, human feelings, perhaps by human weakness, by vanity even. But this I will say, if ever the hunger for fame bursts out in my bosom, it is instantly quenched by my preference for the praise of all mankind, by my joy and cheerful philanthropy, by my desire to benefit the entire human race. Oh, I have felt some pride. I acknowledge it freely, and let my enemies... let my enemies make the most of it. I felt some pride when I presented to the world my Pollywogian theory. Now, that theory may be celebrated, or it may not.
It is.
I accept the assertion of that honorable Pickwickian. It is celebrated. But, now I say but, if the fame of that theory were to extend to the farthest confines of the known world, it would be as nothing the pride that I would feel in my authorship of it, compared with the pride which you, my dear friends, may look upon me at this, the proudest moment of my existence. Now, I am an humble man. Still, I cannot but feel that you have selected my 3 friends and me for a task of great honor and some danger. Traveling nowadays is in a troubled state, and the minds of coachmen are unsettled. You need only look about you and see the scenes daily enacted. Why, stagecoaches are running away, horses bolting, boats overturning, boilers bursting. But, be that as it may, I and my 3 friends may now take our leave of you with cheerful countenance, pure heart, and sober mind.
Four, that the aforesaid 4 Pickwickians are requested to compose from time to time authoritative accounts of their journeys and investigations, of their observations of local character and manners, and of the whole of their adventures, together with all tales, anecdotes, and discoveries which local scenery may inspire, and to forward such such accounts to the Pickwick Club, London, the postage for which correspondence, as well as all other traveling expenses, to be paid by the 4 honorable participating Pickwickians. Adjourned.
Cab!
Here you are, sir. Now then, first cab. That's you, Jack. Here you are, sir. Much obliged.
Golden Cross, please.
On the Bob's work, Tommy. Much thanks.
Off with you, Jack. Much luck.
I say, my friend, how old is that horse of yours?
42.
He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. How long do you keep him out at a time?
Oh, 2 or 3 weeks.
What?
Oh, we seldom take him home on account of his
On
weakness.
account of his weakness?
Well, he always falls down when he's took out of the cab. But when he's in it, we wear some big tight, taking him very short so he can very well fall down. And he got a pair of large pressure wheels on, so as he does get moving, the wheels run after him, so he must keep going. He can't help it.
Very tight, short, precious big wheels.
Whoa! Ah, Mr. Pickwick, you're here. Right on time. Just a few minutes before the stagecoach to Rochester.
Well, our luggage is stowed
All
in.
set.
Then, sir, here is your fare.
That's your pair.
Go
Wow, we're drunk, both. Come on, all 4 of you. What did you want the number for?
I don't want
What
your
did you
number.
take it for?
I did not take it.
Would anybody believe? I say, would anybody believe that how an informer would go about in a man's cab, not only taking down his number, but every word he says into the bargain without meaning mischief?
Take your number down, did he?
And then, after endeavoring to assault him, he brings up 3 of his own witnesses. I must give him if I get 6 months for it. Oh, well,
you're so smart for this, sir.
Come on, Nick, come on.
What's the fun?
Right, you know.
No.
Of course not. Come along then. See at a glance 924. Take your fare. Yourself off. Respectable gentlemen know him well. This way, sir, and your friends. All a mistake. Accidents happen. Best regulated families. Never say die. Down on your luck. Pull up your socks. Put that in his pipe. Like the flavor, damned rascal. This way, sir. Here, waiter. Glasses round. Hot and strong. Sweet and plenty. Brandy and water. Oh, eye damage. Raw beefsteak, nothing like. Cold lamppost, very good. Inconvenient. Damned odd. Standing up half an hour, open street. Eye on lamppost.
Charm.
Most imperative.
Oh, cabin smart chap. Happened to me, punch his head. All are like others too. Damn cabbies.
I often ruminate upon the mutability of human affairs.
Oh, philosopher, sir.
I am Pickwick, an observer of human nature.
Same here. Most people are when little to do, less to get. Poet, sir.
Well, my friend Snodgrass has a strong poetic turn.
Same here. Epic poem, 10,000 lines. Waterloo, composed on the spot. Bang the field piece, twang the line.
Are you a present of the glorious scene, sir?
Fired musket, received idea, rushed into wine shop, wrote it down. Back to battle, whiz, bang! Another idea, wine shop again, pen and ink. Back again, cut and slash, oh noble time. Sportsman, sir.
A little, sir.
Fine pursuit. Dog, sir.
Not at present.
Noble creatures, sagacious, very. Owned a pointer, out shooting. Dog stops. Whistle, stop still. Whistle again. Dog transfixed, pointing at sign. Read inscription. Gamekeeper has orders to shoot all dogs beyond this point. Oh, wonderful dog. Surprising instincts, very.
Singular circumstance. I say, would you let me make a note of it?
Oh, hundreds more. Same dog, fine animal. Ooh, fine girl.
Very.
English girls, not so fine as Spanish. Jet hair, liquid eyes, lovely forms.
You've been in Spain, sir?
No, ages.
Many conquests?
Don Bolero Fizgig, grandee, only daughter, Donna Christina. Lovely creature, noble creature, surprising instincts, love to distraction.
You, sir?
Jealous father, high-souled daughter, handsome Englishman.
You, sir?
Donna Christina in despair, prussic acid, stomach pump in my bag. Operation performed, ecstasies of gratitude. Oh, Bolero, consent to union, join hands, flood of tears. Romantic story, very.
Is the lady in England now?
Dead, sir, dead. Constitution undermined. Fellow victim, stomach pump.
And her father?
Remorse, misery, disappearance. Search everywhere, no success. Town square, public fountain, stop spouting. Workmen clean it, or below, head first main pipe. Workmen pull him out, fountain spouts. Oh, tragic story. Very.
Will you allow me to make a note of that most affecting romance, sir?
Oh, thousands more. Strange life, mine. Curious. Singular.
Taking pleasure in announcing the impending departure of the Commodore Coach to Rochester.
Ah, my coat. Please put one outside. Oh, brandy and water. Leave you to pay. Change of fiber. Bad silver buttons won't do.
Oh, well, allow me to assist, sir. And what a happy coincidence. My friends and I are traveling on the identical coach to Rochester. We travel together.
Fully. Charmed.
Fine.
Brown paper parcel, travel light, other luggage gone by water. Packing cases, nailed up tight, big as houses. Remarkable coincidence, pleasant chit-chat, sights and sounds, highways, heads. Low archway, what you are. Terrible place, dangerous work. Other day, 5 children, mother tall, eating sandwich. Forgot the others. Crash, knock. Children look around, mother's head off. Sandwich in hand, no mouth for it. Head of family off. How shocking, very.
It seems we have arrived at the full inn in Rochester.
Do you remain here, sir?
You'd better. Good dinner, dear, very.
Well, sir, you rendered us an important service this morning. Be so kind as to share the pleasure of your company with us at dinner.
Pleasure. Great time.
Shall we say 5?
Precisely. Not presume to dictate. Specialty broad sole mushrooms. Till then.
Well, a traveler in many lands, I should think, and a keen observer of men and things.
I should like to see his boat. I should like to see his dogs.
How sad, though.
What is?
My stomach pump to meet one's end.
Well now, Rochester. The principal productions of Rochester appear to be soldiers, chalk, shrimp, and dockyard men. The streets present a lively and animated appearance, occasioned chiefly by the conviviality of the military.
Master Sergeant Logat, Miss Donnie Fragment.
So, precisely. Capital fish, London dinners, dozens of baskets. Glass of wine.
With pleasure. Welcome to you, sir.
Welcome.
Lieutenant Shriek, Mrs. Lieutenant Shriek.
Next room ball. Pops and fiddles, gabbets and cravats, gossamer and egg.
Oh, are there very many fine women in this town?
Rochester, apples, cherries, hops, and women.
Oh,
Fill glasses. The ladies. Bless them.
ladies. I should very much like to go.
Ball.
Very much.
Tickets at bar, half a guinea. Toss for drink. Oh, you lose. Bottle stands, pass it round.
I should very much like to go.
Can't. Luggage. 14 coats in packing cases, nothing real. Damn dog. Drinks around. No condition. Oh, drink alone.
Well, I should be very happy to loan you a change of coat, but as you are reasonably slim, and I am...
Reasonably fat.
Principal Flagman, Mistress Square.
I was about to observe, sir, that the coat of my friend Winkle might suit.
Coat suits. I'll drink to that.
His Reverence Father Lee.
I'm sure if I woke him now, I could make him understand. He would have no objection. It is the first coat you see of our new club. First one with our club crest. I designed the crest. It features the silhouette of our leader, Mr. Pickwick. Above the initials PC.
PC. What for? Peculiar coat. Made by contract, no measure. Short men get long ones, long men get short ones. Mysterious dispensation of providence. Well, can't be helped. Beggars, choosers.
I also designed the coat.
Postmaster Cott.
Names won't do. Not known. Tupman, small party, good name. Public assembly, incognito, the thing. Gentlemen from London, distinguished foreigners, such like, far away.
Two distinguished foreign gentlemen from London.
So who's, Mr. Smithy?
Anybody, nobody. Nob's not here yet.
Of the 97, the Honorable Wilmot Snipe, Miss Lott.
Somebody, somewhat. Fun presently, queer place. Dresses last season. Chit-chat last decade.
Charming.
Shut your gob.
Of the 97, Lord Bulger, Dane Bulger.
Ah, head of garrison. Great man. Hereabouts.
Splendid women.
Sir Thomas Glover, Lady Broadway.
Oh, Lord Boulder.
What? Upper garrison don't know lower garrison. Lower garrison don't know gentry.
Who don't the gentry know?
Tradesmen like you.
Oh.
Master Surgeon to the 97, Dr. Slammer, Mrs. Ebenezer Budge, Budge deceased.
Good evening, Doctor.
Very.
Jolly? Betty.
Pompous doctor. Widow. Lots of money. ID. Dance with old girl. Cut out surgeon. Oh, fun.
Sir, of the 97th, my card, sir. Name is Slammer, Dr. Slammer.
Much obliged. Not ill now when I am. Look you up.
You, sir! You are a shuffler, sir. A poltroon. A coward. A liar. Will nothing induce you to take my card, sir?
Understood. Wine too strong. Room too hot. Elderly gentlemen. Lemonade better. Supper for it in the morning.
You are intoxicated, sir. You are stopping in this house. You shall hear from me in the morning, sir. I shall find you out. I shall find you out.
Rather you found me out than found me at home. Tupman, exit.
Who's there?
Sir, good morning, sir.
What do you want?
Please, sir, can you tell me which member of your party wears a bright blue dress coat of unusual cut with a white crest with a PC on it?
Ah, Winco, next room.
What's the matter?
Can I speak to Mr. Winkle, please?
Winkle, wake up.
You're wanted, sir, in the front room, sir.
Wanted? This distance from town? Who on earth could have wanted me? Wanted.
Mr. Winkle, I presume.
Good morning.
You will not be surprised, sir,
Would I inform you, sir?
that I called you this morning on behalf of my friend,
Dr. Slammer.
of the 97th.
This will not surprise you, sir.
Slammer?
Dr. Slammer.
Dr. Slammer wishes me to inform you that your conduct of last night was of a nature which no gentleman could endure.
And Dr. Slammer is a gentleman, sir. Do you deny it?
And you another, sir?
Do you deny it?
I do not deny it.
Therefore, in consequence of your firm refusal to give your card to Dr. Slammer, I have been advised by that gentleman to find the wearer of a very uncommon coat.
Bright blue with a white crest. The letters PC on it.
A coat which I understand, sir, is your coat.
Do you deny it, sir?
Will you allow me to detain you one moment? Bright blue with a white crest. PC? Oh, it can't be. It must be. It is. I took too much wine at supper last night. I have a vague recollection of walking about the street smoking a cigar, returning home drunk, very drunk. I must have put on my coat, gone somewhere, insulted someone.
Your coat, sir?
I do not deny it.
Sunset this evening, sir.
Very good,
Fort Pitt, sir.
very good.
Footpath to the left.
Beside the trench.
To the meadow beyond.
A very secluded spot.
No fear of interruption.
No fear of interruption.
Good morning.
Good morning. Snodgrass! Can I rely upon you?
I swear.
Don't swear. I simply want your assistance, dear friend, in this most unfortunate affair of honor.
You shall have it.
With an officer at sunset.
I'm your man.
In a lonely field beyond Fort Pitt.
We shall find it.
Oh, the consequences of which may be dreadful.
I hope not.
The doctor is a very good shot, I believe.
Well, most soldiers are. Lucky you are too, aren't you?
Of course. Of course! Snodgrass, if I fall, you will find a packet in my portmanteau. It contains a farewell note to my father.
I shall deliver it.
Snodgrass, if I fall, or if the doctor falls, you will undoubtedly be tried as an accessory before the fact. Shall I involve my friend in such transportation? Possibly for life.
In the cause of friendship, would I not brave as much as you in the cause of honor?
Oh, Snodgrass, do not let me be blocked in this matter. Do not run off and give information of the time and place of this event to the local authorities. Do not obtain the assistance of several peace officers to take either me or Dr. Slimer of the 97th, presently quartered in Fort Pitt, into custody and thus prevent this duel. Do not do it, I say do not.
Oh, why not for worlds?
You've got everything, I suppose.
Despite our leisurely pace, we're an excellent time. The sun's just going down.
Going down.
There's the fort. There's the footpath. There's the trench. In the dusk, it looks like an open grave. Remarkable simile, that.
Remarkable.
There's one officer, a second officer. Oh, a large man, I believe, to be your antagonist, and a person with a stool, a physician, I expect.
A physician.
My friend, sir, Mr. Winkle. We have nothing further to say, sir. Nothing.
You will find these suitable, sir.
They are loaded.
Do you dispute it?
Not I. We may place our men.
May we not, sir?
Poor old chap, I suggest you only wing him.
That is not the man.
Not the man.
Not the man. Not the man.
It is.
That is not the person who insulted me last night.
Extraordinary.
Very.
Then the only question is, whether the gentleman, being upon the field of honor, must not be considered as a matter of course to be the individual who insulted our friend Dr. Slimer, whether he is really that individual or not.
I'm not the man, I know it.
Then your acceptance of this duel must be considered an affront to Dr. Slimer, and therefore sufficient reason to proceed.
Why did you not communicate this fact to me this morning, sir?
To be sure, sir, to be sure.
Why did I not communicate this fact to you this morning? Why not indeed? Because, sir, because you describe an intoxicated and ungentlemanly person as wearing a coat, which is a great honor to wear. The proposed uniform, sir, of the Pickwick Club of London. The honor of which club and which uniform I felt bound to maintain.
My dear sir, I honor your gallantry, I admire your charm, and I regret having caused you the inconvenience of this meeting.
I beg you won't mention it, sir.
I should feel proud of your acquaintance, sir.
It will afford me the greatest pleasure to know you, sir.
Slammer, sir.
Winkle.
I think we may adjourn.
Agreed.
Agreed? Certainly.
Unless Mr. Winkle feels himself aggrieved by the challenge, in which case he has the right to satisfaction from Dr. Slimer.
I'm quite satisfied already.
Or perhaps Mr. Winkle II feels himself affronted by certain observations which fell from me at a period earlier in this meeting. If so, I will be most happy to give him satisfaction immediately.
I am most obliged to your handsome officer, which I am only induced to decline out of my entire contentment with my friend's contentment.
You remain long in Rochester?
Oh, I believe my friends and I shall leave the day after tomorrow.
I trust I shall have the pleasure of meeting your friends.
Well, perhaps you and your friends can honor me and my friends with a presence at our breakfast.
The honor, sir, is ours.
Entirely.
Ours.
So be it.
Lieutenant
Tappleton.
Lieutenant
Standish.
Dr.
Payne.
Mr. Pickwick, Mr. Tubman, Lieutenant Tappleton, Lieutenant Standish, Dr. Payne, and Dr. Slimer.
I have met this gentleman before,
Indeed.
and that is the man.
The man.
What man?
The man? Slimer, you are bound to kick him on the spot.
May I ask you, sir,
gentleman belongs to your party?
Oh, certainly not. He is a guest of ours.
Then he is not a member of your club?
Oh, certainly not.
And never wears a club jacket?
Or crest?
Never.
Sir.
Me, sir?
You, sir, you were at the ball here last night, were you not?
I was.
And that person was your companion?
He was.
Attired in an ill-fitting bright blue coat with a white crest bearing the letters PC upon it.
Winko, your coat.
I borrowed it
You, Tupman.
and loaned it
You, Tupman!
to him.
Now, sir, I ask you once again in the company of these gentlemen whether you choose to give me your card and to receive the treatment of a gentleman.
Have I not seen you in the theater?
Oh, certainly.
Upon the stage?
Indubitably.
Slammer. He's an actor.
A strolling Blair.
We cannot proceed in this affair.
Impossible.
Quite. Good day.
Disagreeable situation. Good day.
Quite. Good day.
Allow me to suggest, Mr. Pickwick, that the best way of avoiding such scenes in the future would be to be more select in your choice of companions. Allow me to add, sir, that if I had been Dr. Slammer, I would have pulled your nose, sir, and the nose of every man in this company. Payne is the name, sir. Dr. Payne of the 98. Good day.
Laggard. Twister. Pessimist.
Such a cause.
Brandy and water. Jolly old gentleman. Lots of. Swallow. Brandy all round.
Left wheel.
Ah, capital stuff.
Cannon detail, halt.
Paltry fellow.
Prime cannon.
Cannon prime, sir.
Big flash.
Load cannon.
Cannon loaded, sir.
No ball.
Ready cannon.
Cannon ready, sir.
Dangerous, though.
Aim cannon.
Cannon aimed, sir.
Dangerous.
Fire.
Must be a...
What was that?
Can anything be finer?
Nothing.
What is it?
Can anything be more delightful?
Nothing.
Snodgrass.
Can anything be more inspiring?
Oh, nothing. It is indeed a noble sight to see the gallant defenders of their country drawn up in brilliant array before its civilized citizens, their eyes beaming not with warlike ferocity or rapine or plunder, but with civilized gentleness and enlightenment. Eyes front!
Cannot see anything for this damn crowd.
Prime your muskets!
Muskets primed, sir. What are they doing?
Larger muskets!
Muskets loaded, sir. What is it?
Ready muskets!
Muskets ready, sir.
I rather think they're going to fire.
Nonsense. What's going on?
Aim muskets!
Muskets aimed.
I don't think they are!
Oh, no.
Fire!
Whoa! But suppose some of the men should have ball cartridges by mistake?
I heard something whistle through the air close to my ear just now.
Perhaps we should throw ourselves on our faces, hadn't we?
Oh, no, I'm sure it's all over now.
Fix bayonet!
Phoenix fix!
Charge!
Hard!
Get out of the way!
Where do we go?
Quick! Come over here, make haste! Pray do. Joe! Damn that boy, Joe! Spread another blanket for these gentlemen. Well, gentlemen, glad to see you. I know you well, though you might remember me. Wardle's the name. I met you at the club. Tupman, too. Especially glad to see him in the crowd. Glad to see you, too, sir. You do look uncommonly well. If a bit flustered. Fortunes of war, I suppose, huh? And Snodgrass, how do you do, sir? And Mr. Winkle, glad to hear it. My daughters, gentlemen, Emily and Isabella. My gals, they are. And this is my sister, Rachel Wardle. She's a miss, she is. And yet she ain't a miss, sir, right?
Oh, save us, brother.
Joe! Damn that boy, he's gone to sleep again. If you wouldn't mind, sir, reach over and pinch him in the leg, as it's the only thing that wakes him up.
Oh, rather extraordinary. Does he always sleep like that?
Undo the hamper, Joe. I'm very proud of that boy. Knives, Joe. Wouldn't part with him on any account. Forks, Joe. He's a natural curiosity, he is. Napkins, Joe. Now, we'll all have to sit close together. Ladies won't mind that now, will they?
Lord, Father, Lud.
Plates, Joe, plates. Damn that boy. Now the eatables. Come on, Joe. Yes, now the fowls. Yes, the pigeon pie. Now the tongue. Come on, Joe. Take care of the veal and ham. Get your eyes off that capon. Mind the lobster. Here. Salad out of the club. Good. Wide all around. Now ain't this capital?
Capital!
Love Mr. Winkle. Oh, how dear Emily is flirting with a strange gentleman.
No, all very natural, I dare say. Pickwick, you must come visit us at home. Share the country life. We eat like bulls, we do.
Homely simile.
Lord, Mr. Snodgrass. Isabella, my dear, don't talk so loud. Laura. Oh, young girls have such spirit.
Oh, they do, they do. It's quite delightful. Oh, will you permit me to steady your hand as you pour the wine? The guns, you know.
Do you think my dear niece is pretty?
Oh, I would if their aunt weren't here.
You naughty man. But really, if their complexions were a little better, don't you think they would be nice-looking girls by candlelight? Oh, you quit. I know what you were going to say.
What?
You were going to say that Isabella stoops. And so she does. It cannot be denied. And if there is one thing that makes a girl look ugly, it's stooping. Now, what a sarcastic smile. I'm quite afraid of you. I know what that smile means.
What?
Oh, it means that you don't think that Isabella's stooping is as bad as Emily's bold. She is bold. You cannot think how wretched it makes me. I'm sure I cry about it for hours.
Oh, poor, poor dear Miss Mortal.
I'm sure Aunt's talking about it. She looks so malicious. Aunt, dear, I'm afraid you'll catch cold. Why don't you tell this starter on your dear old head? Oh, you really should take care of yourself. Consider your age.
Joe! Damn that boy up. Joe, pack the things. Now mind yourself. See you all in a week, then.
Oh, most certainly.
You have the address?
Manor Farm, Dingley, Dell.
Well, you shan't stay under a week. And you shall see everything worth seeing. For the country life, come to me. Joe! Damn that boy. Joe!
Dingley Dell, 15 miles straight ahead. Can't miss it. Down the road. Post chaise, no good. Won't pull more than 2. Wheel chaise. 2 behind. One in front for the gentleman as drives. What makes it? Damn, only 3. Saddle horse, perhaps it is one of the gentlemen as might to ride.
The very thing.
Winkle, will you go on horseback?
You can ride.
I should enjoy it, of all things.
Ah, bless me. But who's to drive the chaise? I
Oh,
don't
you, Pickwick.
I, of course.
Not to have the slightest fear, sir. Quiet and quiet, sir. An infant in arms, my driving.
He don't shy?
He wouldn't shy if to meet a wag about him after the tail's burnt off. The reins, sir. You must hold them, sir.
Whoa!
Only as playful, this gentleman. Hold it tight. Now you, sir.
Ah, thank you.
Other side, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, all right now.
Well,
Off you go.
Well,
oh, what makes you go farther? I can't imagine.
what makes him go stop so? Oh, I dropped my whip. Winkle! Winkle, can you fetch my whip? There's a good chap.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
He stopped.
Thank you.
Other side, Winkle.
Well, thank you.
Your whip, sir.
Ah, thank you. No other side, I think we go.
Thank you.
Poor horse.
Nice horse. Good horse.
For God's sake, Winkle, come on.
Good girl. Nice horse. Good horse. Nice horse. What am I to do? I can't get up.
I think you'd better lead her on to the next stage.
But she won't come. Do help.
Very well. Get with your whip! What's wrong with my whip?
Don't bring it.
Stop it, Winkle! No, no, the other horse! No, no! Jump! Jump!
Yeah, I jumped. Unfortunately, the fall has been broken by a hedge of brambles.
Limping? Scratches? Not worse. Glad to hear it. Spilt, eh? Common accident in these parts. Oh, he's asleep again. Joe! Take the horse and... Shoot it! Stable it. Welcome, gentlemen, to Manor Farm. Pickwick, mother.
I can't hear him.
Mr. Pickwick, Grandma.
Well, it don't much matter. He don't care for an old woman like me, I suppose.
Ah, what a delightful situation.
Come, mother. What do you say to a game of cards, Mr. Pickwick? Here's my neighbor, Mr. Martin, ready to play.
Nothing I'd like better. Only don't make up a game on my account.
Oh, I assure you, Mother's very fond of a game of cards. Ain't you, Mother?
Sit down, boy. You too, Pickwick.
There, that could not have been played better, I flatter myself.
My son here ought to trump the diamond off the Pickwick.
I'm afraid so.
Not I know.
A double.
A double?
You ought, sir.
Sorry.
Let's use that.
Well, never was such cards.
Oh, never was such luck.
Never was such partner.
Another double.
A double, sir.
Quite aware of the fact, sir.
Now, this is just what I like. Some of the happiest moments of my life have been spent right here by this old fireplace. My poor old mother used to sit by the fireplace when she was a little girl. Didn't you, Mother? Yes, you must forgive me for talking about this old place so, Pickwick, but I love it dearly, and I know no other. Even the houses and the fields seem like living friends to me. Like living friends. Living friends.
Pleasant. Oh, pleasant country. Oh, in such a sleep. Such a morning. Who could live to gaze from day to day on city bricks and slates who'd once felt the influence of a scene like this?
Hello. Beautiful morning, ain't it? Glad to see you up so early.
Well, legs not working quite as well as legacy, you might say, of that damned horse. Say, what's going forward today?
Well, this morning, your friends, Martin the boy and I, are going out shooting. Then breakfast on the green, then more shooting. Capital, what?
Well, I wish I could go.
Say, he doesn't suppose we're going to kill enough game to fill those bags, does he?
I expect you do, Martin? Bless you, yes. You shall fill the one and I the other. And when we've done with that, our pockets will hold the rest. Especially as I hear you're a very good shot, ain't he?
I've heard him say so.
But I never saw him aim at anything.
Hey, what are you up to? Watch it. You shoot each other.
Sorry.
There'll be good shots one of these days. Begging my friend Winkle's pardon, he's already a good shot.
Hand your piece that way, sir, and you make cold meat of the rest of us.
Sorry.
Where will we have breakfast this morning, Martin?
One Tree Hill, Lady Bloodwig's land.
Lady Bloodwig's still in Scotland, is she?
So I've heard. Watch it, sir. You shoot the dog next.
Sorry.
Ain't the other gentleman a shot?
He's a bit lame this morning.
Well, I should like very much to go, very much.
There's a barrow in the pantry. Master could wheel him along, he could.
Oh, the very thing, eh, Pickwick?
Well,
The very thing.
Shooting party. Gentleman in a barrow. Gross violation.
I only thought.
Stow it.
Oh, now stop.
What's the matter?
I'll not suffer this barrel to be moved a step until Winkle carries that gun of his in a different manner.
How am I to carry it?
Muzzle to the ground.
Oh, it's so unsportsmanlike.
Well, I do not intend to be shot in a barrel for the sake of the sport. Oh.
No, the gentleman put the charge into someone before he's done.
Well, I don't mind.
Anything for the coin, right? Well, we're off.
Oh, now stop, stay.
What's the matter now?
That gun of Tupman's is not safe. It's not. I'm sorry to be the cause of further objection, but I'll not go unless he carries his as Winkle does.
I think you'd better, sir. You're as likely like to charge yourself as anything else.
Mine too, I suppose.
I suppose so, sir.
What's the matter with the dog?
Hush, can't you? He's making a point.
Making a point, making a point. What about?
Now!
Where are they? Tell me where to shoot. Where?
Two of them are down over there.
I mean the others.
Far enough off with your help.
Sorry.
Very likely to be up with another covey in 5 minutes. The gentleman begins to find out perhaps to just get a shot of the barrel by the time they arrive.
And now, boy, don't laugh. Wait. On again. Now then! Topman, you fired that time.
Yes, I let it off.
Oh, well, you'll hit something next time.
How it hurts one's shoulder, though.
Now, Winkle, it's your turn. Follow me softly and don't be late this time.
Never fear.
Is that going to?
Not yet. Quietly now, quietly.
Oh,
What in the devil did you do that for?
I've never seen a gun in my life like this. It'll go off of its own. It'll do it.
I wish it would kill something of its own.
Not for long, sir.
What do you mean, sir?
Never mind, sir, never mind. I've no family of my own. This boy will get something handsome from Lady Bloodwick if he's killed in this land. Load again, sir, load again.
Huh.
Fire away.
Take away his gun, do you hear? Somebody take it away.
Hush now! Topman, you singled out that one particular bird.
No.
Oh, I saw you do it. The best shot could not have done it more beautifully. Topman, you've been out before. I can tell it by your smile.
Hush! What? There now! Rachel!
Topman!
Michael, what has happened? Mr. Tubman has stabilized out innumerable birds by receiving Mr. Winkle's charge in his arm.
Oh, Tupman. Oh, Tupman.
Not intentional, I trust.
Sorry.
Can you walk?
It's my arm.
Yes. Better to walk. Keep him from fainting. It's only a short way back. Boy, run ahead and tell them we're coming. Yes, Snodgrass, you get that arm. Martin, take the other. I'll lead the short way, and Winkle, you follow with the gun.
No!
Yes, I'll take the guns. Winkle, you follow. Leave you here under the tree with the hamper, Pickwick. Be back for you in an hour. We're off!
Tracy? Oh, is he dead? Blind, wounded? Can he be saved? Oh, tell me. Tell me. Oh, tell me.
It's his arm, miss.
Shattered, useless, not amputated. Only say it has not been amputated.
On yourself.
Oh, it
dearest
is his voice.
I am very little hurt, I assure you.
Oh, then you're not dead. Only say you are not dead.
Don't be a fool, Rachel. What's the use of him saying he's not dead?
I am not dead. I require no assistance but yours. Let me lean upon you.
Are you faint?
I shall be better presently.
Oh, he sleeps. Dear Mr. Tubman.
Say those words again.
Oh, surely you did not hear them.
Oh, yes, I did. Say them again. If you would have me recover.
Hush, my brother is near.
Stay with me.
Of course.
Are you a cricketer, sir?
Yes. No.
Are you, sir?
I was once upon a time, but I've given it up now. I belong to the club here. I was hoping you two might join me at the grand match.
I am delighted to view any sports in which the impotent effects of unskilled sportsmen do not endanger human life.
Sorry.
Very well. Then we shall be justified in leaving our friend in the care of the lady.
You cannot leave me in better hands.
Quite impossible. This way.
Hunt. Yes, madam?
Mow this place tomorrow, do you hear?
Yes, madam.
And remind me to have a sign posted about trespassers and guns and all that sort of thing to keep the common people out. Do you hear me, Hunt? Do you hear?
I'll not forget it, madam. Begging your pardon, Lady Bloodwick.
What now?
Begging your pardon, madam, but I think that there may have been some trespassers here today.
Confound their audacity. So there have been. They have actually been eating their food here. Crumbs in my grass. Oh, I wish I had the vagabonds now.
Begging your pardon, Lady Bloodwick.
What now?
Begging your pardon, madam, but here, under the tree, with an empty hamper.
Who are you, you rascal? What's your name?
Cold punch.
What did you say his name was?
Punch, I think.
That's his impudence. He's drunk! He's a drunken plebeian! Wheel him away, Hunt.
wheel him to, madam?
Wheel him to the devil! Stay. I believe he belongs in the pound. Let us see whether he calls himself Punch once he has received a few punches. He shall not bully me. Crumbs in my grass. Wheel him away directly.
Capital sport, capital game, capital exercise. Very.
Wait, look there, isn't it?
Capital fun, lots of beer, hogsheads, round of beef, bollocks, mustard, cartloads.
I say, sir, I say!
Oh, grand, eh? Glorious sport, fun and games, glad to see you. Very.
How came you to Dingley, Dell?
Stopped at next village. Met a party, flannel jackets, white trousers. Anchovy sandwiches, devil kidneys. So splendid fellows. Off to Dingley, glad I followed. Some strokes admirable.
You have played, sir.
West Indies, red hot, scorching. Native team. Captain, of course. Won the toss. First inning, 7 o'clock a.m. Myself in, batting. All day. By noon, still batting. Natives fainted. Fresh ones ordered. 3 o'clock, still batting. Others fainted. Fresh ones ordered. 6 o'clock. Last man left. Wanko Santa. Sun so hot, bat in blisters, ball scorched brown. Still batting. 1,000 runs. 1,012. Oh, rather fatigued. Quenko's last gasp bowled me out. Shook his hand, took a bath, went to dinner. Poor old Quenko.
Dead, sir?
Brain fried. Hopeless idiot. Good sport.
I hope you will join us at dinner, Mr.
Jingle. Alfred Jingle, no hall, nowhere.
Mr. Wardle, I would like to meet Mr. Jingle. Jingle? Wardle.
Oh, local?
The owner, sir, of Manor Farm.
Ah, dear sir. Friend of yours, friend of mine. Hand, sir, hand. Into town all together. Cricket dinners, devilish good. Fowls and pies, beer and beer. Pleasant fellows. Well behaved.
Here we are, then!
Where am I?
In the pound!
How came I here?
Lady Broadway!
What was I doing?
Lady Broadway!
What brought me here?
Lady Broadway!
No! Help! Isn't that? No! Let me out! Let me out! Where are my friends?
Let's get out!
Gentlemen, in it again. Friends! Countrymen! Ears.
Who's this?
Plain, blunt, love my friend.
Who's your friend?
Honorable man, very.
What you doing there, then?
Private griefs, envy, ambition, traitor.
Who's a traitor?
Lady something.
Broadway!
Who?
Broadway!
Who?
Broadway!
Get her!
Let's
Out you come, off we go.
So sorry, Pickwick.
I forgot about you.
My dear sir,
Malt, pickle, suggest we hurry, cricket dinners.
how can I ever think?
Stand around, maybe two. To be or not to.
Drunk.
Very.
You are an angel.
Oh, Mr. Tupman.
Nay, I know it all too well.
Oh, all women are angels, they say.
Then to what, with their presumption, can I compare thee? Where was woman ever found to resemble you? Where could I hope to find such a combination of outer beauty and inner excellence? Oh, Miss Rachel.
Oh, men are such deceivers.
They are, but not all men. There lives one who could never change, one who would be content to devote his entire existence to your happiness, one who could live but in your eyes, Breathe but in your smile, bear the heavy burden of life itself only for you.
Oh, can such an individual be located?
He is here, Miss Wardle, here.
Oh, rise, Mr. Tupman.
Nay, never. Oh, Rachel, say you love me.
Tracy, you are not wholly indifferent to me. Oh! We are observed. We are discovered.
What do you want here, sir?
Yeah. Supper's ready.
Did you just come here, sir?
Just.
He knows nothing of what has happened.
Oh, nothing.
Must have been asleep.
I have not the slightest doubt.
Did you just laugh, sir?
No.
Then go.
Until morning, we won't come home until morning. We won't come home until morning. Till daylight doth appear.
Or, is anything wrong?
No, we're all right. I say, Wardle, we're all right.
I think so. Dingle, the ladies. Pickwick's friend, a little visit.
Is anything wrong with Mr. Snodgrass?
Cricket dinner, party, songs, all port clerk. Wine, man.
Well, wasn't the wine?
Mr. Winkle seems rather tired.
I want to go to bed.
No
now.
living person shall carry me to bed.
Wasn't the wine, was the cider.
Indubitably.
Joe!
Oh, damn that.
Ah, Joe, help these gentlemen up to bed. Tupman, you help Mr. Pickwick.
What a shocking scene. Disgusting.
Spectacle, horrid, very. Good night, dear ladies.
What a nice man. Good looking, too.
Blood.
Oh, he is.
Decided.
Joe! That boy. Joe, wheel me into breakfast. Joe, breakfast, Joe. Where are you taking me?
Miss us?
Now, Joe, I've always been a good mistress to you. I've always treated you kindly, Joe. You've never had too much to do and always enough to eat, Joe.
I know I have.
Then what can you possibly want with me now?
I want to make your flesh creep.
Now, Joe.
What do you think I seen in this harbor last night?
Bless us, what?
The strange gentleman. He's had his arm hurt, kissing and hugging.
Who, Joe? One of the servants?
Worser than that.
Not one of my granddaughters.
Oh, worser than that.
Who was it, Joe? I insist upon knowing.
Miss Rachel.
What?
Miss Rachel.
And she suffered him?
I saw her kissing of him again.
Joe! Joe, take me to my son.
What?
You.
Disgusting. Me? Unnatural.
Son's in lower garden.
Her time of life.
No, he's in breakfast, he is.
Without
Lord?
my permission.
Garden, half a mile.
My boy God is dead. You're mad.
5, says lower garden.
Miserable old woman like me.
Oh, lower garden.
Good, Joe. Walk slow.
Joe!
Here, miss us.
Not a look, not a wink,
Not a whisper, not a syllable.
Rachel wishes it?
She don't like it, must be done about suspicion. Afraid of old brother, no help for it. Says a few days, old folks fool, crown your highness.
Does she send any other message?
Regards, unalterable affection.
Dear friend, carry my love back to her. Tell her how hard I shall find it to dissemble, not only at breakfast, but at any time. Add to her that I am sensible of the necessity of this suggestion, which she has made to me through you this morning. Tell her how ardently I long for the day when I may call her mine and all dissimulation is unnecessary.
More?
Dear friend, only tell her how ardently I long for her.
More?
Dear friend, accept my warmest thanks for your disinterested kindness. How can I ever hope to repay you?
Spare £10, particular purpose, pay in 3 days.
With pleasure. 3 days, you say?
All over them, no more difficulties. Gratified, very. Not a look, not a wink, not a syllable, not a whisper. All your attention on the niece. Rude to Rachel, hoodwink old ones, only way, to breakfast.
To breakfast.
Sir.
Oh, forgive intrusion, short acquaintance, all discovered.
Sir.
Boy, dumpling, eyes, round eyes, rascal.
I presume you allude to Joseph,
Oh,
sir.
damn Joe. Treacherous dog, told old lady, furious, told old man, wild raven.
Told what?
Arbor, Topman, kissing, hugging.
Oh, Mr. Jingle, if you have come here to insult me...
Oh, not for worlds. Come to warn you, overheard. Tender service, prevent hubbub, think it insult, leave at once.
No. Help me, Mr. Jingle. What shall I do? What can I say?
Say he dropped it. Nothing easier. Sleepy boy. Lovely, lovely Rachel. Sleepy boy horsewhip. Everyone happy. End of matter. Almost everyone.
Mr. Jingle, you seem unhappy. May I show my gratitude for your kind interference by inquiring into the cause of your sadness, with a view, if possible, for its removal.
Ha! Remove my unhappiness. When her love, her precious love, is bestowed upon a man insensible to the blessing. A man who even now contemplates a design upon the affections of the very niece of that dear, dear creature who... But no, he is my friend. I will not expose his vices. Miss Wardle, dear, dear, dear Miss Wardle, farewell.
Stay. You have made an allusion to Mr. Tupman. Explain it.
Never.
Mr. Jingle, I implore you, if there is any dreadful mystery connected with Mr. Tupman, reveal it at once.
Lovely creature, sacrificed at the shrine, heartless avarice. Tupman only wants your money.
Oh, the wretch!
More than that, loves another.
Who?
Short girl, blue eyes, niece.
Emily? It can't be, I won't believe it.
Breakfast, watch them.
I will.
His looks.
I will.
His whistles.
I will.
Beside her at table.
Let him.
Flatter her.
Let him.
Cut you.
He cut me? Oh, let him.
Convince yourself.
I will.
Show your spirit.
I will.
Not love him afterwards.
Never.
Someone else.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
Me.
You.
To breakfast.
Damn rascal!
Do about it.
Oh, my own house!
What are you going to do about it?
My own sister.
What are you going to do about
My
it?
own arbor.
What are
Come
you
on.
Don't spill me.
Ah, blackguard, blue beard.
Who? I believe you're referring to Mr. Tupman.
Yeah, Mr. Tupman.
Lord.
And Miss Jezebel, huh? Where's she?
Who? I believe he's referring to Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel?
Blood.
Where is she?
She's with Mr. Jingle. They sat with us for just about a moment, but then recollected some piece of business elsewhere, and that.
Left? Where to?
Gone, master, clear off.
Who's gone?
Oh, Miss Rachel and that fellow is called Jingling. They has run off in the post-chase.
Pickwick! I paid his expenses. He's got 10 pounds of mine. I shall go mad.
He's going mad. What shall we do?
Put a horse in the other post-chaise. We'll follow them instantly. Girls, look after your grandmother. She's fainted away, huh? I'll deal with you later, Joe.
Come on, Pickwick.
Oh, well, I'm with you.
We'll give her her head.
Oh, well, we're off. Oh, pretty situation this for perpetual president of Pickwick Club. Lampshade, 15 miles an hour, no breakfast. We should catch up with them, do you think?
I hope so.
Say, fine day.
I noticed.
We should catch them before sundown.
No.
Be rather difficult going at this rate in the dark.
Dare say.
Whoa!
You're not stopping.
Date here, information. How long since the last post-chaise was through here?
How long?
How long?
Post-chaise?
Post-chaise.
Through here?
What's the matter with this fellow?
Post-chaise through here. Why, I don't rightly know. It weren't a long time ago, nor it weren't a short time ago.
Has any post-chaise been through here at all?
Oh, yes.
About an hour ago.
I dare say.
2 hours?
Shouldn't wonder.
Don't waste any more time with that idiot.
Oh, we're off!
Idiot, eh? Not much of that either, old short and fat. You've lost 10 minutes here and run away as wise as you came. If every gentleman on the line is how's it gonna give him half so well. We'll catch that other shade this side of Christmas.
I say, it's growing dark already.
That's so.
And
I hadn't noticed.
and wet.
Whoa!
How long since that post-chaise came in?
Post-chaise, sir.
That one!
Oh, that one, sir.
Where are its occupants?
Occupants, sir?
The occupants of that shade. Where are they?
Off on a pair of my fresh horses.
How long?
time ago.
Quarter of an hour?
Oh, I shouldn't wonder.
Tall gentleman?
Yes, sir.
Older skinny lady?
Yes, sir.
It's them! We're off! I see them!
I can see his head. I see his head.
On, boys, on! Down the ruts! Down the stone! Pull down that wheel!
Whoa! Elderly gentleman, anybody damaged?
Oh, damn rascal!
Dare say assist to disputes, desires or compliments, love to others. Drive on! See you in next world, if ever I meet that man again!
Yes, that's all very well, but while we sit here in the mud, they'll be off to London and get their marriage license.
How far is it to the next stage?
7 miles.
Nothing for it. We must walk. We're off. Oh!
Hello. Number 22 wants his boots. Ask number 22 will I have them now or wait until he gets them.
Come, Sam, don't be a fool. The gentleman wants them directly.
Well, you're a nice young woman for a musical party you are. Look at these here boots. 11 pair of boots and 1 shoe which belongs to number 6 of the wooden leg. These boots are to be called for by 8:30 and the shoe by 9. Use number 22 to put all these at a rotation. No, regular rotation, as the man in the hood said when he tied the men up to be hung. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. 22, but I'll attend to you in sequence.
Sam, where's that lazy idol? There you are. Why don't you answer?
It wouldn't be genteel till you stop screaming.
And clean these ladies' shoes for number 22 directly. And take them up. Private sitting room, 1st floor.
Private sitting room? Ladies' shoes? Oh, I bet she didn't come in a wagon.
She arrived early this morning with a gentleman in a hansom cab, and it's him that wants the boots, and you better hurry.
Why didn't you say so before? For all I knew, he was only a regular 3 pennies. Ladies' shoes? In a private sitting room? Well, if he's anything of a gentleman, he's worth 2 shillings a day, let alone errands.
Boots.
Yes, sir.
Bill for marriage license, due to know.
Oh, yes, sir, not well. Paul's churchyard, sir. Low archway on the carriage side. Next year. Hotel in one corner, and booksellers on the other. 2 chaps in the middle, tells for licenses. Tips to happen you walk up. License, sir, license. Queer sort.
9:30, just the time, off at once.
Oh, time for what, dear?
Oh, marriage license, Angel. Give notice at church, call you mine tomorrow. In hurry, post haste for a license. In hurry, ding dong, back I come.
Oh, how you do run on.
Run on. Nothing to the hours, days, weeks, years when united. Run on. Fly on, bolt, mizzle, steam engine, horsepower, thousands.
Can't we be married before tomorrow morning?
Impossible. Can't be. License today, notice at church. Come off tomorrow. Law, you know.
But I'm so terrified lest my brother should discover us.
Discover. Nonsense. Breakdown. Shook up. Caution extreme. Gave up horses. Took hackney coach. Come to this inn. Last place he'd look. Capital notion. Very.
Well, don't be long, dear.
Long? From you? Cruel charmer.
Oh, dear old man.
Wrong old girl.
Haha, pretty busy, eh?
Oh, middling, sir. We shan't go bankrupt, and we shan't make our fortune. We eat our mutton without mustard, and we don't eat mutton when we can get beef.
Quite a wag, ain't ya?
My brother used to be troubled with that complaint, and it may be catching, as I did used to sleep with him.
This is a curious old inn of yours.
If we'd known you were coming, we'd have had it repaired.
Get on with it, Perker.
The fact of the matter is that my friend here will give you half a guinea.
Now,
You
my
understand,
dear
sir?
sir, pray allow me. The very first principle to be observed in cases like this is, if you place the matter in the hands of a solicitor, then you must in no way interfere with the conduct of the case. In short, Mr. Pickwick, I shall be very happy to receive any private suggestions of yours as amicus curiae, but you must realize the impropriety of your interfering with my conduct by such ad captandum arguments as half a guinea.
My only wish, Mr. Perker, was to bring this unpleasant matter to as speedy a close as possible. And with that view, I simply made use of the argument which my knowledge of human nature leads me to believe would be most successful in such a case.
Quite so. But you should have suggested it to me. Surely you cannot be ignorant of the extent of confidence that must be placed in professional men like myself.
So, you want me to accept it half a guinea? Very well, I'm acceptable. Can't say no fairer than that, can I? Now, question is, what the devil do you want with me? As the man said when he saw the ghost.
What we want is...
Whether you've seen anybody...
What we want to know, and we ask the question of you so as not to awaken any apprehensions inside. What we want to know is who you got in the house.
Right. Got a man with a wooden leg in number 6. I have Oxfords in 13. Painted tops in the commercial by the bar. 2 pair of abs in the snuggery, and 5 more in the coffee room. Wait! There's a pair of Wellingtons, a good deal worn, alongside a pair of ladies' shoes in number 22.
Ladies?
What sort?
Oh, country make.
Maker's name?
Brown.
Of?
Dingley.
Oh, by heavens, we found them.
Hush. The Wellingtons has gone to Paul's churchyard and come back.
No.
For a license.
Not
A
for-
marriage license.
Oh, show us the room.
No, pray allow me. Show us the room without announcing us, and this sovereign is yours. Is that the room?
Aha!
Lot!
You're a nice rascal, ain't you?
Now, my dear Wardle, pray consider. Defamation of character, action for damages.
How dare you drag my sister from my house?
Yes, you may say that. Very good. How dare you, sir?
And who is this?
This, sir, is my lawyer, Mr. Perker of Gray's Inn. Perker, indict this fellow. Prosecute him, ruin him! And Rachel, at a time of life when you ought to be proof against such temptation. What do you mean by running off with this vagabond? An actor? Oh, disgracing me. Disgracing yourself. Or get on your bonnet, miss. Call a hackney coach and get the lady's bill.
Sir.
I said get on your bonnet, miss!
Oh, nothing of the kind. Leave this in. Ladies free to act more than 1 and 20.
Oh, more than 1 and 30.
Hey!
40 if you're an hour.
Oh, you brute! Bring her a glass of water.
Oh, bring her a bucket. Throw her in.
There's a love.
Coach is ready, sir.
Settle her down.
Boots get me an officer.
Stay, sir, stay. Consider, sir, consider.
Oh, not consider. Own mistress. Take her away, no one dares, unless she wishes.
I don't wish it.
My dear sir, we are in a very awkward situation. A distressing case, but we have no power to control the lady's actions. Morally, yes, but legally, no. As I mentioned to you before we came, we must be prepared for a compromise.
What sort of compromise?
We must be content to suffer a pecuniary loss.
Yes, well, I'll suffer anything rather than submit to this disgrace and permit her, fool as she is, to be made miserable for life.
Mr. Jingle, sir, would you care to step aside with me for a moment?
Oh, don't go.
Back presently, business pressing. Mary.
Now, my dear sir, between you and me, my dear sir, we both know, my dear sir, that you have run off with this lady for the sake of her money.
No.
No. Don't frown, sir. I say between you, me, and the war. We know it. We are men of the world, and our friends here are not. Now, the fact is, sir, that beyond a few hundreds, the lady has not yet come till the death of her mother. A grand old lady, sir.
Old.
Well, you're quite right, old, but she comes of a family, the founder of which came into Kent with Julius Caesar, and not one of which has not lived to be 85 except one. That one was beheaded. Now, sir, the lady is nearly 73, but not quite 73.
Well?
Well, you, sir, are a fine young man, well able to push your fortune in the world if you had the capital, eh?
Well?
Well, I put it to you quite frankly, sir. Would it not be better to have £50 and your liberty rather than Miss Wardle and expectation?
Oh, won't do.
Oh, no, sir?
Not by half.
Oh, a good round sum, sir. There's a great deal to be done with £50.
More to be done with 150.
Say 70.
Won't do.
Don't go, Sir, pray don't go, stay. Let's say 80. Come, I'll write you a check.
Expensive affair, money out of pocket. Posting £9, license 3, compensation 100, mental anguish, breach of honor, loss of lady, painful, very.
Yes, that's 112. Let's say 100.
And 20.
100.
And 20.
Oh, but my dear sir.
Give it to him and let him go.
Done.
Done.
Now leave this in before I help you with my boot.
Now, Mr. Warden.
And mine, sir. Nothing should have induced me to make this compromise if I did not know you'd go to the devil faster with this money than without it. Be gone, sir, be gone.
Pickwick.
License. Change name. Do for Tuppy.
You! Stop that, sir. That's a sheep you got from
Let
me.
me
Go! What's the use of running after a man who's already made his fortune and got to the other end of town by now? There. Now he looks compact, comfortable. Which puts me in mind of the man who cut off his own son's head to keep him squinting.
Mrs. Bardell? Mrs. Bardell, how long have I taken bachelor quarters in your house?
Oh, sir, ever so long.
Mrs. Bardell?
Sir?
That little boy of yours is taking quite a time about his errand, I think.
Why, it's a good long way from here to the White Hart Inn, sir.
So it is. Mrs. Bardell.
Sir?
Do you think it's a much greater expense to keep two persons than to keep one?
Oh, Mr. Pickwick. Oh, Mr. Pickwick, what a question.
Yes, but do you?
That depends a good deal upon the person, Mr. Pickwick, and whether it's a saving and a careful person, sir.
Indeed, the person I have in mind possesses those qualities, to be sure, and has, moreover, a certain knowledge of the world and a natural sharpness which I believe could be of material use to me in my life and work.
Law, Mr. Pickwick.
And to tell you the truth, I believe I have made up my mind.
Dear me, sir.
Now, you may think it somewhat curious that of all persons I never consulted you on this matter. In fact, did not mention it until sending your little boy on his errand.
How thoughtful of you to have done it, sir. How considerate.
Well, what do you say then? Shall it be two instead of one?
Oh, Mr. Pickwick, you are very kind.
Well, I think it should save a good deal of trouble.
I never thought anything of trouble, Mr. Pickwick. And I should take more trouble then to please you than ever. But it is so kind of you, so dear of you to have such consideration for my loneliness.
To be sure, I'd not thought of that, but yes, it is true that henceforth, whenever I'm in London, you will have someone to sit with.
I'm sure I ought to be a very happy woman.
And your little boy.
Bless his
He,
heart.
too, will have a companion, a lively one who'll teach him more tricks, I think, in a week than he could learn himself in a
Oh, you dear.
Mrs. Bardell.
Oh, you kind.
Mrs. Bardell.
Mrs.
Mrs. Bardell. Oh, no, have off. My good woman, oh, great assist. Oh, what a situation situation. What is it? What's your problem?
Let them come. I'll never leave you, dear,
Oh,
kind, good soul.
You must stop, madam. No, there's a good creature. I hear someone up on the stairs. And the good creature.
Thank you, sir. I'm better now. Thank you, sir. Dear sir. Thank you.
I do not know what could have possessed the woman. I simply announced to her my intention of hiring a manservant, and she fell into the paroxysm that you found her in. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Very extraordinary.
Very.
Indeed. Be that as it may, tell me, have you brought Sam?
Present, sir, and willing to accommodate, as the barmaid said to the Tiddly gent.
Come in, Sam. Weller, isn't it? You remember me, I suppose?
Well, I should say I should, sir. That fellow's a bit too much for you, eh? Up to snuff and a bit over.
We'll not mention... I wish to speak to you upon the matter on which I, with the concurrence of these gentlemen, have sent for you.
Well, that's the point, sir. As the gentleman said when he lost the duel.
Won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you, sir. Now, out with it. As the father said when his child swallowed the farthing.
Yes. Well, what we should first like to ask is whether you have any cause of dissatisfaction in your present situation.
Before I answers that there question, I should like to know as to whether you gentlemen are going to provide me with a better.
Well, I have made up my mind to engage you.
Wages?
£12 a year.
Clothes?
We have a new suit.
Work?
To attend upon me and to travel about with me and these gentlemen in pursuit of our researches.
Well, take the advertisement down. I'm let to a single gentleman, and the terms is agreed upon.
You accept the situation?
If the clothes fit me half so well as the place, they'll do.
Well then, gentlemen, we may meet as arranged. We're off.
Where to, sir?
Why, to Dingley Dell for Christmas.
I wonder whether I'm meant to be a gateman, or a groom, or a gardener, or a bartender. Oh, looks like sort of a combo of each one. Oh, well, never mind. There's little to do, plenty to see. All that food washing plates, uncommon. So, long life to the Pickwicks, say I. Fine morning, sir.
How beautiful indeed.
Beautiful indeed. All my luggage in?
Yes, sir.
When is it, sir?
I am, and to Dingley after that.
Is the red bag in? Extraordinary coincidence. It's for me. Traveling outside?
I am.
Right boots, sir.
Remarkable. I'm going outside too. We're positively going together. And the straight bag? It's a good thing we are going together. Company, you see, company is a very different thing from solitude, ain't it?
That's what I call a self-evident proposition. As the dog's butcher said when the housemaid said he, what, no, gentleman?
Friend of yours?
Well, to be honest, he is my servant, but between ourselves, I allow him to take a good many liberties, as he's, I think, something of an original.
That, you see, is a matter of taste. I'm not fond of anything original. I don't like it. I don't see the necessity of it. Your card?
Right in the front, sir.
Indeed.
Ah, Pickwick. Very good. I like to know a man's name. It is better than not knowing it, I think. That's my card, sir. Magnus, you'll perceive. Magnus is my name. It's a rather good name, I think, sir. There's a very good name before it, too, if you'll perceive. Permit me, sir. If you hold the card a little slanting, you can catch the light upon the upstroke. Peter Magnus. It sounds very well, I think, sir.
Very well.
There's a curious circumstance behind those initials, sir. Peter Magnus. PM. Post Meridian. And the brown paper parcel? In short, no sentiment acquaintances. I sometimes saw myself. Afternoon. It amuses my friends very much, Mr. Pickwick.
I am sure it is calculated to afford them the greatest possible satisfaction.
Now, gentlemen, the coach is ready, if you please. And they're all in, sir.
Well then, will you get up now?
I'm sorry, Mr. Pickwick, but I cannot get up in this state of uncertainty. I'm quite positive by this person's manner that the brown paper parcel is not a... Ah, there it is.
Well then, we're off.
That's the man in the hood said to Anne Boleyn. Not a nice neighborhood, this, sir.
No, it is not, Sam. It is not indeed.
Ah, look, there's Waterloo Bridge. And you know British lodging out there, sir.
And furniture.
length of a long room. Now, you see, each morning, they let the rope go at one end, and all the lodgers falls to the ground. And the consequence of that is that being thoroughly wakened, they gets up and quite quietly walks away.
The great white horse of Ipswich!
You stop here. I do. I never saw anything like these extraordinary coincidences. I hope we dine together.
Well, I am not certain as to whether my friends have arrived. Waiter, is there a gentleman here of the name of Snodgrass?
No.
Is there a gentleman here of the name of Tupman?
No.
Nor Winkle?
No!
Seems we dine alone. Would you show us to a private room?
Now then, what do you think I've come down here?
Business, perhaps?
Partly right, but partly wrong, too. Try again.
Well, I am at your mercy, sir, as to whether you wish to tell me or not.
Well then, what would you think if I come down here to make a proposal, sir? What would you think then, eh?
I should think you very likely to succeed.
But do you think so, though? Do you?
Oh, yes, certainly.
But surely you're joking.
No.
Well then, to let you know the secret, I think so too. And I don't mind telling you, sir, even though frankly, just by nature hard, so by nature. I don't mind telling you that she is a guest in this very house. I think an inn is a proper sort of place to make a proposal. She is much more likely to feel the loneliness of the situation, traveling abroad, than she would at home. What is the time?
Past 12.
Dear me, I must be off. I shall never do my staying here. I shall be pale tomorrow. I take my leave.
He grants it. Pleasant chap.
Do you think so?
Why, so you look done in by the dinner. Here, girl, take my master to his bed.
And with luck, we'll find mine.
This is your room, sir.
Very well. No one else sleeps here?
Oh, no, sir.
Well, would you be so good as to tell my servant, Mr. Weller, that I should like a glass of water at 8:30 in the morning, but I shan't need him any more tonight.
I'll talk to Mr. Weller, sir.
Yes. Well, great white horse. Tupman. Winkle. Snodgrass. Well, tomorrow, perhaps. Mrs. Bardell. Don't know what got into her proposal, indeed. Magnus. Peter Magnus. My watch. I left it downstairs. Too late to call. I should be able to find it myself. Here you are. Glad to have you, my beauty. My room, curious how they all look alike from this side.
What the hell do you want?
Foolish. What could it be? Open door. There. Open fire. Wouldn't that be ridiculous? Funniest thing I ever heard, wandering about these halls and stairways forever, the ghost of the great white horse. Well, droll indeed, very droll. What's that? Coming in? Want to have a look? Could it be a robber? A peek? A lady! Oh, I have never met with anything so awful. What a dreadful thing! Oh, the matter grows more alarming. She is clearly preparing herself for the night. I cannot allow this to proceed. From the self-possession of that lady, it is clear that this is her bedroom. If I call out, she will alarm the house. But if I remain here, the consequences will be more frightful still. There is nothing for it. It must be done. Ahem!
Gracious heavens, what's that?
Oh, call me a gentleman, madam.
A gentleman?
Oh, I am about undone.
A strange gentleman!
Oh, ma'am.
Help!
No, madam, no, madam.
Wretch, what do you want here?
Nothing, madam, I assure you.
Nothing?
I am about ready to sink beneath the embarrassment of addressing a lady in my nightcap, but I cannot get it off.
Oh, wretch!
No, madam, it is evident to me that I have mistaken your room for my own. I have not been here 5 minutes when you entered.
If this improbable story be true, you will leave instantly.
Ah, with the greatest of pleasure, I assure you.
Instantly!
I am deeply sorry to have been the innocent cause of such alarm. I trust, madam, that my own unblemished character and the deep regard with which What an escape! What an escape into what? I am in a strange house, in the dark, alone, likely to be shot if I try to regain my room. It may be that my only recourse is to remain here until daylight. A light coming. Sam.
Sir.
Sam, where is my room?
This way, sir.
Sam, I have tonight done one of the most foolish things I can imagine.
I find that quite likely, sir.
Sam, one thing is sure. I shall not again trust myself alone in a strange house.
Why, that's the prudentest resolution as you could come to, sir. You're either want someone to take care of when your mind goes out wandering, huh?
Sam.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sir.
Good morning, sir. What do you think of this, sir?
Very effective.
Yes, I think so too. Mr. Pickwick, I've sent my card.
Oh, you have?
Yes, and the waiter's brought back word that she will see me at 11. At 11, sir. It only wants a quarter now.
Oh. Yes, very near.
Yes, rather too near to be pleasant.
Well, confidence is a great thing in such matters, I'm sure.
I believe it is. I'm very confident, very. A man shouldn't feel fear in such a situation as this. It's a question of mutual accommodation. Husband on the one hand, wife on the other. That is my view of things.
A very philosophical one.
Time?
It only wants 2 minutes.
Am I pale?
Not very.
Have you ever done this sort of thing before?
Proposing?
Yes.
Never.
Then you don't know how it's best to begin.
Oh, well, I may have formed a few ideas on the subject, but they've not been subjected to the test of experience.
I should be very obliged for any advice. Time?
Just go on.
Advice.
Well, I suppose that I should commence with a tribute to the lady's beauty and excellent qualities, and then should diverge to my own obvious unworthiness.
Very good.
But unworthiness for her only, mind. To show that I was not wholly unworthy, I might undertake a brief review of my past life and present circumstance. And I should argue by analogy that to anyone else I might appear a very desirable object. I should expatiate upon the warmth of my love and the depth of my devotion, whereupon I might be tempted to seize her hand.
Time?
5 minutes past. Where was I?
Her hand.
Yes. I should proceed to the plain and simple question. Will you have me? At which I think I'm justified in assuming the lady would turn away her head.
You think that may be taken for granted? It would be embarrassing if she did not do it at the right time.
Oh, I am certain that she would do it. And I should squeeze her hand, and I think, Mr. Magnus, I think that I would gently draw away the handkerchief, which my knowledge of human nature leads me to suppose the lady would be applying to her eyes, and I should steal a respectful kiss. Yes, I should kiss her. And if the lady were going to accept me at all, I am sure that she would choose this opportunity to murmur in my nearby ear her grateful acceptance.
Oh, Mr. Pickwick, Oh, time? Oh, my God!
Pickwick! Oh, Snodgrass!
Pickwick!
Winkle! Pickwick! delightful.
So sorry we were delayed, sir.
A slight altercation.
Altercation?
Wrong word, Winkle. A misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding?
He disappeared.
Tupman?
The prospect of returning to Dingley, Dell, of visiting again the precincts of my late misfortune.
Miss
Oh,
Rachel?
pray, Mr. Pickwick, do not mention that name again.
He hid himself.
We have to find him.
And tell him that Miss Rachel
had been sent away by her brother to the house of a relative,
where she may contemplate in peace her own unfortunate taste in men.
Sir? Sir? Mr. Magnus, these are the three gentlemen I was telling you about. Snodgrass, Winkle, Tupman, Mr. Magnus, Peter Magnus.
Mr. Pickwick, congratulate me. She is mine.
Oh, I congratulate you, yes, with all my heart.
And I hers, of course. You must meet her, sir. Mr. Pickwick, I make you known to Miss Weatherfield. Miss Weatherfield, you must meet my particular friend, Mr. Pickwick. Mr. Pickwick, Miss Weatherfield, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this, sir?
I decline to answer that question.
You decline, sir.
I object to say anything which may compromise that lady or awaken unfortunate recollections in her breast, not without her express permission and consent.
Miss Weatherfield, do you know this person?
Know him?
Know him, I said know him.
I have seen him.
Where?
That I would not reveal for worlds.
I understand you, madam, and respect your delicacy. It shall not be revealed by me.
You carry this matter off with tolerable coolness, madam. Tolerable coolness.
Cruel Mr. Magnus.
Oh, sir, you may address any observations to me. It is I who am to blame, if anybody be.
Blame? You alone? I see through this, sir.
Ah, very good.
And you shall answer it.
What? Answer what?
Never mind, sir, never mind.
Tupman, Winkle, Snodgrass, come here. Secret of some delicacy which involves that lady has just been the cause of a difference to arise between that gentleman and myself. Now, when I assure him in your presence that the secret has nothing whatever to do with him, nor any consequence for his affair, I need hardly beg you to take note that if the gentleman continues to express any doubt as to my veracity, it shall be taken as an insult, and I shall be forced to take immediate remedial action.
The lady! Hands off, sir. I shall tend to the lady. You notorious friend may leave.
Notorious? Oh, notorious? We shall see who is
Sam! Good morning, sir, ma'am.
Take them away!
You heard the lady. Take them
I
away.
shall not move one step.
Perhaps you should, sir, more than out. Out of sight, out of mind, as the judge said when he found it in fiber.
But the lady!
Oh, that's a good deal more in his way than in yours. As the man on the right side of the wall said to the man on the wrong side of the wall when the mad bull came charging up the road.
Sam!
Yes, sir.
We are leaving this wretched accommodation. Fetch your hat.
It's
Gentlemen.
below, says, sir.
We're off.
Here's your hat, Mr. Weller.
Hello.
This is it, ain't it?
Now, let me take a closer look.
Mr. Weller?
Yes, this is it. Goodbye.
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 Hey, Sam!
How awkward you are. I could lose it again if you hit behind me, right? You can't mean to say you did that on purpose.
An accidental collision of the lips, you might say. But I will now.
Sam!
Coming, sir!
That's certainly a long time about it.
Discovered something behind the door, sir. I'll investigate it further next time.
Well, then, we're off.
To Dingley Dell. And Christmas!
one. Oh, Wardle, after such a tremendous meal, another glass of wine in honor of this festive Christmas occasion.
Joe! Damn, that boy's asleep again.
No, I ain't.
Joe, pour some more wine for Mr. Pickwick. Now me. Now anyone.
God bless you, good fellow.
Same to you, old boy. Mother, you ain't drinking?
Never mind.
Ah, come now, Mrs. Wardle. We old folks must have a glass of wine together in honor of the occasion.
Come on, Mother.
Don't bother Mr. Pickwick about an old creature like me. Nobody cares about me now, and it's natural as they should.
Nonsense. Come, you mustn't cut an old friend like that. I have come down here expressly to have another game of cards and to teach these young girls and boys how to dance and jig before they're 4 and 20 hours older.
Can't hear him.
Oh, there, Mother. Don't be cross. Here's a good soul. Drink up, old girl.
Mr. Pickwick, young people is different now than when I was a girl. Take that little Emily now and that little Isabella. They'll soon be forgetting me when they've got their match.
Now, come, ladies and gentlemen.
Here. Joe, some more wine for the toast. Now, Pickwick.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, my dear friend, if the ladies would allow me to take such a liberty.
I could kiss that dear Mr. Pickwick.
Oh, couldn't it be done by deputy?
Go away, Mr. Snodgrass.
I wish to propose the health of our host. He is a dear man, kind, generous, warm-hearted, independent-spirited, humanitarian, liberal, optimistic man.
I can't hear him.
And now we've the stomach for it, the dance.
Oh, you mean to dance? Bells!
Stop!
What?
Where's Emily?
And Winkle.
Here we are. Well, Winkle, how extraordinary that you should not be here to take your place in time.
Not all that extraordinary, I think, Pickwick.
Lord, Father.
Oh, I see. Perhaps not extraordinary after all.
Fiddlers, dancers, mind the mistletoe.
This is indeed great comfort.
Yes. It is our invariant custom that on Christmas Eve we all sit together, servants and all, and here we wait for the clock to strike 12. Joe, break up the fire.
Yes, sir.
Now fill up, everyone. It will be hours before we see the bottom of the bottle.
And days before we lose the effect.
How it snows.
Snows, does it?
A rough, cold wind and a snow that drifts across the plain in a great white cloud.
Very pretty. There ain't anything the matter, is there?
No, he says it's snowy and windy, Mother. I shouldn't wonder by the way it rumbles in the chimney.
There was just such a fall of snow and just such a drift a good many years back, I recall when I was a girl. Just such a cold and white, cold and white, cold and white.
Joe, Mother shall greet the day in bed. Be gentle with her. It is very cold outside.
Oh, I don't feel it.
It is warm within.
A fine time for them is as well wrapped up as the polar bear said when he was practicing his skating.
Do you skate, Mr. Winkle?
I'm rather out of practice.
But do skate tomorrow. I'd like so much to see it.
Oh, it's ever so great.
Practically swan-like.
I should like to skate tomorrow, I'm sure, but unhappily, I have no skates.
Oh, well, I shall loan you a pair.
Oh, I'd be most grateful to you. I'm much afraid that, oh.
Now then, Sam, launch yourself off. Show them how to do it.
Stop, Sam. How slippery it is, Sam.
Not an uncommon thing upon ice, Sam.
Winkle, come, launch yourself. The ladies are all anxiety.
Now then, sir, off you go.
Yes, I'm coming. Sam, I find I've got a couple of coats at home that I don't want. You may have them, Sam.
Thank you, sir.
But never mind tipping your hat, Sam. I've got 5 shillings I meant to give you this morning for the Christmas box. I shall give them to you this afternoon, Sam.
Right, thank you. Now, off you go.
Just hold me at first, Sam. I shall soon get in the way of it. Not too fast, Sam. Not so
Sam!
fast.
Sam!
Sir!
I want you.
Didn't you let go? Let me go!
Winkle!
Are you hurt?
Not much.
Is he hurt?
Not much.
Take his skates
Yes,
off.
sir.
I've scarcely begun.
Take his skates off. You, sir, are a humbug.
A what?
Mr. Cleaner and imposter, sir.
Pickwick, look at me.
Oh, that looks like warm exercise.
Do you slide?
Well, I used to on the gutter when I was a boy.
Oh, go on and try it now.
Do it, sir.
Of course, if you'd rather not.
There's nothing I should like better than to afford some amusement, but, well, I have not done it these 40 years.
Come on, sir. I'll keep you company. Bravo, sir. Now you, Mr. Topman. Now you, sir. Oh, go on, sir. There's no danger to it.
You say so, Sam.
Keep the pot boiling, Mr. Waddle. Oh, yes.
Well done.
Mr. Topman, I believe you are next.
Oh,
Mr. Pickwick, go right on. Mr. Waddle. Mr. Topman, go on, sir.
where is he? Oh, there's his hat.
Loading!
Oh, Mr. Pickwick, do keep yourself up.
Do let me implore you, for my sake.
If only for an instant.
Do you feel bottom, sir?
Yes.
Then walk out.
Oh, you see, I just fell through on my back and could not regain my feet just at first.
Oh, he'll catch his death. Dear old thing.
I'll run him home directly, lads, and straight into bed.
A letter for Mr. Pickwick. I think you'd better read it, sir.
Freeman's Court, Cornhill, August 28th, 1830. Bardell versus Pickwick. Mr. Pickwick, having been instructed by Mrs. Martha Bardell to commence an action against you for breach of promise of marriage, at which the plaintiff lays her damages at £1,500, we beg to inform you that a writ has been issued against you in this suit in the Court of Common Pleas. We beg to know, by return post, the name of your attorney in London, which will accept the service thereof. We are, sir, your obedient servants, Dodson and Fogg, attorneys at law.
Dodson and Fogg? Bardell versus Pickwick?
These females.
It is a conspiracy, a base conspiracy on the part of those grasping attorneys, Dodson and Fogg. Mrs. Bardell would never do it. She hasn't the heart for it. She hasn't the case for it.
Well, of her heart, you should certainly be the best judge, but in her case, and I don't mean to discourage you, but in her case, Dodson and Fogg are better judges than any of us.
It is a vile attempt to extort money.
I hope so.
Well, whoever heard me address her in any terms other than that which a lodger would use to his landlady? Whoever saw me in any sort of compromising situation with her, whatever? Why, even my closest friends...
Except on one occasion.
Nothing suspicious then, I hope.
Oh, well, I'm sure it was nothing suspicious, but it could all be explained, mind, I'm sure. She certainly was,
reclining in his arms.
Gracious powers, so she was.
And our friend was soothing her prominent anguish.
Indeed I was. I cannot deny it. I was.
Wow, for a case in which there's nothing suspicious, this all seems rather, well...
Suspicious?
Pickwick, sly dog, eh? Sly dog?
No, it's a fearful instance. Not the force of circumstance. A dreadful congruence of appearances.
Well, this letter's postmarked August.
Well, considering the lateness of the date, and he said Dodson's and Fogg, I would not be at all surprised.
Pickwick. I am Pickwick.
I called from Dodson and Fogg. Begging your pardon, sir, but I ask you to receive from my own hand this paper. Personal service by clerk or agent in these cases, you know. Nothing like caution in all forms. Now, which one of you gentlemen's names is Snodgrass? I've got a little something to trouble you with too, sir.
Me?
It's a subpoena and a shilling on Bardell versus Pickwick on behalf of the plaintiff.
On behalf of the plaintiff?
And I think I am mistaken when I say your name's Tupman?
I cannot deny it.
One for you too, sir. And you are Mr. Winkle.
Why me?
One for you too, sir. And where is Weller?
Oh, but Sam...
Enough said, sir. What is right. As the young noble sweetly remarked when they put him on the king's pension list because his mother's uncle's cousin's grandfather once lit the king's pipe with a portable tinderbox. Samuel Weller. One of the truest things, as you've said many long year. Here's the subpoena for you. What's subpoena in English? That's the original. Oh, that's the original, is it? Well, I'm very glad to have seen the original, as it's a gratifying sort of thing and eases one's mind. And the shilling. Uncommon handsome of Dodson and Fogg to come down here with such a gift for me. Shows in the mark a high gratitude for them. They knows how to reward merit where they seize it. Besides which, it's rather affecting to one's feelings.
Well, sir, I suppose it is the intention of your employers to attempt to incriminate me upon the testimony of my friends.
Not knowing can say.
Well then, I shall ask someone who does know. I shall return to London. I shall see this Dodson and Fogg.
You're the defendant in Bardell versus Pickwick.
I am.
And what do you propose? Oh, hush, Fogg. What's your Mr. has to say?
Well, gentlemen, I have come here to inquire what grounds of action you could have against me.
Grounds of... Mr. Fogg, I'm going to speak. Pardon me, Mr. Dodson. For the grounds of action, sir, you may consult your own conscience. We are guided entirely by the statement of our client. That statement, sir, may be true or it may be false. It may be credible or it may be incredible. But, sir, if it be true and if it be credible, I do not hesitate to say, sir, that our grounds of action are strong, sir, and not to be shaken. You may be an unfortunate man, or you may be a designing one. But if you're truly innocent of what is laid to your charge, you're more unfortunate than I thought a man could be. Oh, what do you say, Mr. Fogg?
I say precisely what you say, Mr. Dodson.
Do I understand that it is your intention to actually proceed with this case?
Understand, sir? That you certainly may.
And the damages are laid at £1,500?
To which understanding you may add my assurance that if we could prevail upon our client, they would have laid at treble the amount.
And Mrs. Bardell specifically said, however, that she would not settle for a penny less than 1,500.
Not a compromising woman, eh, Mr. Fogg?
Why should she be? Hey, Mr. Dodson?
Gentlemen, you shall hear from my solicitor.
Oh, we shall be very happy to do so,
And
sir.
before I go, permit me to say that of all the disgraceful and rascally
Oh,
proceedings...
stay, sir, stay. Mr. Jackson.
Sir.
I merely want you to overhear what this gentleman has to say. Pray go on, sir.
Disgraceful and rascally proceedings, I believe you were saying, sir?
I said that of all the disgraceful and rascally proceedings that ever were attempted, this is the most.
You hear that, Mr. Jackson?
You won't forget those expressions, will you, Mr. Jackson?
Perhaps you would like to call us swindlers, sir.
Pray do, sir, if you feel so disposed.
I do.
I hope you can hear up there, Mr. Jackson. Do pay close attention.
Perhaps you would like to call us thieves, sir?
Or perhaps you would like to assault one of us, sir.
Please do so.
Pray do it, sir.
Pray do.
Come away, sir, come away. Battledore and shuttlecock's a very good game when you ain't the shuttlecock. If you want to blow up someone, come out beyond and blow up me.
But Sam,
Yes, sir.
I shall go immediately to Mr. Perker.
Ah, Dodson and Fogg, sir. Sharp practice, lads. Capital man of business. Smart fellow, sir.
They are very great scoundrels, Mr. Perker.
Well, we won't dispute terms, because you can hardly be expected to see the matters with a professional eye.
They have subpoenaed my 3 friends.
But of course they would. Important witnesses. Saw you in a delicate situation.
The lady fainted of her own accord. She positively threw herself into my arms.
Very likely and very natural. But who's to prove it?
They have subpoenaed my servant also.
What, Sam? Oh, very devilishly clever. Really admirable.
But what course are we to pursue?
We have only one. We must cross-examine the witnesses. We must throw dust in the eyes of the judge and ourselves on the jury. For which purpose, I have retained Lawyer Snubbin.
Is he a good man?
Oh, bless your heart and soul. He's at the very top of his profession. Gets 3 times as much business as anybody else in the court. You needn't mention it abroad, but we men of the profession say that Lawyer Snubbin leads the court by the nose.
But what if the decision should go against me?
Ah, well.
You mean to say that I should be expected to pay damages?
Ah, well.
Well, sir, let me announce to you my unalterable determination to pay nothing. Not £1, not 1 penny shall find its way from me to those scoundrels Dodson and Fogg. Nothing, sir. And now, I should like to see Lawyer Snubbin.
What, without a previous consultation fee? Without an appointment of at least 6 months? Unheard of, sir. See, Lawyer Snubbin can't be done. May we disturb you, Mr. Snubbin?
Very busy. Interminable, terrible case. Originating in a case of an individual deceased a century ago who stopped off a path from somewhere which nobody ever came from, leading to somewhere which nobody ever went to.
Very interesting case. I remember it. An elegant case.
And the best part of it is, as I am the only man alive who can read the judge's handwriting, all parties of the case must wait for his opinion till I've had it copied out.
Which makes it easier for we know who, Mr. Snubbin, and draws a little more out of the clients besides.
Mr. Packham, are away.
Well, Mr. Pickwick here is defendant in Bardell versus Pickwick.
Oh, I'm retained in that, am I?
Yes. Mr. Pickwick was anxious to state before he went upon his case that he denies there being any ground or pretense whatsoever for the action against him. And unless he came into court with clean hands and without the most conscious conviction that he was right in resisting the plaintiff's demands, he would not be there at all.
Strong case?
Ah, well.
Did you propose calling any witnesses?
Ah, well.
Any evidence?
Ah, well.
Oh, well. Parker, take some notes, and I'll see you both again in court.
foreman of the jury had for breakfast?
Why do you ask that?
Oh, highly important. A well-breakfasted foreman is a capital thing. Hungry foremen always find the plaintiff. If the jury is deliberating late, the foreman will take his watch out and say, "Dear me, gentlemen, it's 10 to 5, and I always dine at 5. Then he puts the watch back and smiles and says, "Well, gentlemen, what do we say? Plaintiff or defendant?" I rather think, though don't let that influence you in any way, but I rather think that the plaintiff's the man. Whereupon 2 or 3 others readily agree with him, and they all get along unanimously and comfortably together, and they all get home in time for dinner at 5. That's what comes to the light breakfast.
Silence!
Dell versus Pickwick. Lawyer Buzzfuzz for the plaintiff, my lord.
I am for the plaintiff, my lord.
Who is with you, Brother Buzzfuzz?
Dodson and Fargo with Lawyer Buzzfuzz, my lord.
We are with Lawyer Buzzfuzz, my lord.
Lawyer Snubbin for the defendant, my lord.
I'm for the defendant, my lord. And who is with you, Brother Snubbin?
Mr. Poker is with Lawyer Snubbin, my lord.
Ah, plaintiff, Mr. Buzzfuzz and Mrs. Dodson. Fargo for the defendant, Mr. Snubbin and Mr. Ferker.
Ferker, my lord.
Get on. The plaintiff, gentlemen, is a widow. Yes, gentlemen, a widow. The late Mr. Bardell, after enjoying for many years the esteem and confidence of his sovereign, glided almost imperceptibly from the world to seek elsewhere that peace and repose which a custom house can never afford.
He was knocked on the head by a court box in the center of a public house.
Some time before his death, he stamped his likeness upon a little boy. With that little boy, the only pledge of her departed exciseman, Mrs. Bardell shrunk from the world and courted the retirement and tranquility of Goswell Street. And there she placed in her front parlor window a written placard bearing this inscription: "Apartments furnished for a single gentleman, inquire within." I entreat the attention of the jury to the wording of this document. Apartments furnished for a single gentleman. Mrs. Bardell's opinions of the opposite sex, gentlemen, were derived from a long contemplation of the inestimable qualities of her lost husband. She had no fear. She had no distrust. She had no suspicion. All was confidence and reliance. Mr. Bardell, said the widow to herself, Mr. Bardell was a man of honor. Mr. Bardell was a man of his word. Mr. Bardell was no deceiver. Mr. Bardell was once a single gentleman himself. To single gentlemen I look for protection, for assistance, for comfort, for consolation. In single gentlemen, I shall perpetually see something to remind me of what Mr. Bardell was when he first won my young and untried maidenly affections. To single gentlemen, then, shall my lodgings be let. Actuated by this beautiful and touching impulse, the lonely and desolate widow dried her tears, furnished her first floor, caught her innocent boy to her maternal bosom, and put the sign up in the parlor window. Did it remain there long? No! The serpent was on the watch. Before the sign had been in the parlor window 3 days, gentlemen, of being erect on 2 legs and bearing all the outward semblance of a man, and not that of a monster, knocked at the door of Mrs. Bardell's house. He inquired. He took the lodgings, and on the very next day he entered into possession of them. That man was Pickwick. Pickwick the defendant. Oh, of this man Pickwick I will say little. The subject presents but few attractions, and I, gentlemen, am not the man, nor are you, gentlemen, the men, to delight in the contemplation of revolting heartlessness and systematic villainy.
Come on!
I shall show you that for 2 years, Pickwick continued to reside constantly and without intermission or without interruption at Mrs. Bardell's house. I shall show you that Mrs. Bardell, during the whole of that time, waited on him, attended to his needs, cooked his meals, prepared his linen for the washerwoman when it went abroad, darned, aired, and prepared it for wear when it came home, and in short, enjoyed his fullest trust and confidence. I shall show you that on many occasions he gave halfpence, and on some occasions even 6 pence to her little boy. And I shall prove to you that on one occasion he patted the boy on the head, and after inquiring whether he had won any marbles lately, made use of this remarkable expression: "How you should like to have another father."
Get to the point.
I shall show you, gentlemen, that about a year ago, Pickwick suddenly began to absent himself from home during long intervals, as if with the intention of gradually breaking off his liaison with my client. But I shall show you also that his resolution was not sufficiently strong, or that his better feelings, if better feelings he has, were not sufficiently conquered, or that the charms and accomplishments of my client prevailed against his unmanly intentions, by proving to you that on one occasion, when he returned from the country, he distinctly offered her marriage, previously taking special care that there should be no witnesses to their solemn contract. And I am in a situation to prove to you, on the testimony of 3 of his own friends, most unwilling witnesses indeed, gentlemen, that on that morning he was discovered by them holding the plaintiff in his arms and soothing her agitation with his caresses and endearments. And now, gentlemen, but one word more. 2 letters have passed between these parties. Letters which are admitted to be in the handwriting of the defendant. Usher, read the letters.
Garraway's, 12 o'clock. Dear Mrs. B, chops and tomato sauce. Yours, Pickwick.
Ooh!
Dear Mrs. B, I shall not be home till tomorrow. Slow coach. P.S. Don't trouble yourself about the warming pan.
These letters speak volumes indeed! They bespeak the character of the man. They are not open, fervent, eloquent epistles breathing nothing but the language of affectionate attachment. They are covert, sly, underhanded communications, but fortunately, they are far more conclusive than if couched in the most glowing language and the most poetic imagery. They are letters which must be viewed with a cautious and a suspicious eye. Letters which were evidently intended at that time by Pickwick to mislead and delude any third parties into whose hands they might fall. Gentlemen of the jury, pray consider. My client's hopes and prospects are ruined. And it is no figure of speech to say that her occupation is gone. The sign is down, but there is no tenant. Eligible single gentlemen pass and repass, but there is no invitation for them to inquire within or without. All is gloom and silence in the house. Even the voice of the child is hushed. His infant sports are disregarded when his mother weeps. He forgets the long familiar cry of, "Knuckle down!" But Pickwick, gentlemen, the ruthless destroyer of this domestic oasis in the heart of Goswell Street.
Come on.
Pickwick, who choked up the well and thrown ashes on the greensward. Pickwick, who comes before you today with his heartless tomato sauce and warning. Pickwick still rears his head with unblushing effrontery and gazes without a sigh on the ruin he has made. Damages, gentlemen, heavy damages, is the only punishment with which you can visit him, the only recompense you can award to my client. And for those damages, she now looks to an enlightened, a high-minded, a right-feeling, a dispassionate, a conscientious, a sympathizing, a contemplative jury of her civilized countrymen. Call the witness.
Nathaniel Winkle.
Here. Don't look at me, sir. Look at the jury.
Now, sir, have the goodness to let his lordship and the gentlemen of the jury know what your name really is, will you?
Winkle.
What's your Christian name?
Nathaniel, sir.
Daniel. Have you got any other names?
No, Nathaniel, my lord.
Oh, Nathaniel, Daniel, or Daniel Nathaniel?
Only Nathaniel, my lord.
Then why did you tell me your name was Daniel then, sir?
I didn't.
You did!
Didn't.
Well, you must have done so, otherwise how could I have it down in my notes?
Mr. Winkle has a rather short memory, my lord. We shall find means to refresh it before we have done with him.
You better be careful, sir.
Sorry.
Now, Mr. Winkle, attend me if you please, sir, and let me recommend you, for your own sake, to bear in mind his lordship's injunction to be careful. I believe you are a particular friend of Pickwick, the defendant, are you not?
I've known Mr. Pickwick as nearly as I can recollect.
Oh, pray, Mr. Winkle, do not evade the question. Are you or are you not a particular friend of the defendant?
I was just about to say that.
Will you or will you not answer my question, sir?
If you don't answer the question, you'll be committed.
Come, sir. Yes or no, if you please.
Yes.
Yes, you are. And why couldn't you say that at once, sir? Perhaps you know the plaintiff, too, eh, Mr. Winkle?
I don't know her. I've seen her.
Oh, you don't know her, but you've seen her. Now have the goodness to let the gentlemen of the jury know what you mean by that.
I mean that I'm not intimate with her, but I have seen her when I've come to call on Mr. Pickwick on Goswell Street.
How often have you seen her?
How often?
Yes, Mr. Winkle, how often? I'll repeat the question for you a dozen times if you require it, sir.
Oh, come, Winkle. Was it 20 times?
Oh, no, more than that.
Was it 100 times?
Not so many, I think.
Very well, then, 50 times.
Well,
75.
Well...
Was it, sir?
75.
Was it?
Yes, that is... Yes.
Oh, my goodness, you'd better take care of yourself, sir. Oh, and mind what you're about.
Sorry.
Mr. Winkle, do you remember calling on the defendant, Pickwick, at those apartments in the plaintiff's house on one particular morning in the month of July last?
Yes, I do.
Were you accompanied on that occasion by a friend of the name of Tupman and another of the name of Snodgrass?
Yes, I was.
Are they here?
Yes, they are.
Oh, pray attend to me, Mr. And never mind your friends. They must tell their stories without any previous consultation from you, if none has yet taken place. Now, sir, tell the gentlemen of the jury what you saw on entering the defendant's room on this particular morning. Come, out with it. We must have it sooner or later.
The defendant, Mr. Pickwick, was holding the plaintiff in his arms with his hands clasping her waist, and the plaintiff appeared to have fainted away.
Did you hear the defendant say anything?
I heard him call her a good creature and asked her to compose herself, for what a situation it would be if anyone should come, or words to that effect.
I have only one more question to ask you, and I beg you to bear in mind his lordship's injunction. Will you undertake to swear that Pickwick, the defendant, did not say on the occasion in question, "My dear Mrs. Bardell, you're a good creature. Compose yourself to this situation, for to this situation you must come," or words to that effect?
I didn't understand him so certainly. I was on the staircase and I couldn't quite hear distinctly, but the impression on my mind...
The gentlemen of the jury want none of the impressions on your mind, which I fear would be of little service to honest, straightforward men. You were on the staircase and didn't distinctly hear, but you will not swear that Pickwick did not make use of the expressions I have quoted. Do I understand that?
No, I will not swear.
Your witness, Mr. Snubbin.
I believe, Mr. Winkle, that Mr. Pickwick is not a young man.
Oh, no. Old enough to be my father.
Oh. Would you say, when females are in the case, that he treats them only as a father might his daughters?
Not the least doubt of it. Oh, that is, yes, certainly.
You've never known anything in his behavior towards Mrs. Bardell, or towards any other female, in the least degree suspicious?
Except for one trifling occasion, which I have no doubt might easily be explained.
The witness is excused.
Stay, Mr. Winkle, stay. Will your lordship have the goodness to ask him what this one instance of suspicious behavior towards females on the part of the gentleman who was old enough to be his father?
What? You hear what the learned counsel says? Describe the situation.
My lord, I'd rather not.
Perhaps so, but you must.
It was only that one time at the White Horse Inn in Ipswich when Mr. Pickwick was discovered in a lady's sleeping apartment in her bed at midnight, which event I believe terminated in the breaking off of the proposed marriage of the lady in question. But I have been repeatedly assured by Mr. Pickwick that the whole adventure was the result of a misunderstanding.
Thank you, Mr. Winkle. Thank you very much, Mr. Winkle.
You may leave the box, sir. Please.
My lord, it is because of the extraordinarily helpful testimony of the last witness. The prosecution would like to waive the examination of Messrs. Tupman and Snodgrass, the other friends of the defendant, unless, of course, those witnesses feel they can add to the picture so clearly presented by Mr. Winkle.
He's an idiot! Mr. Winkle is a traitor! The defense agrees with the prosecution and will likewise waive the testimony of Messrs. Tupman and Snodgrass.
Next witness.
Samuel Weller.
What's your name?
Samuel Weller, my lord.
You spell it with a V or a W?
Well, I've never had occasion to spell it more than once or twice in my life, but I believe I spelled it with a V.
Now, Mr. Weller.
Now, sir.
I believe you're in the service of Pickwick, the defendant. Speak up, if you please, Mr. Weller.
I mean to speak up, sir. I'm in the service of that there gentleman, and a very fine service it is.
Little to do and plenty to get, I suppose.
Oh, quite plenty to get, as the soldier said when he was offered 350 lashes.
You must not say what the soldier really said. That's not evidence.
Yes, my lord.
Do you recollect anything particular happening on the morning when you were first engaged by the defendant? Mr. Winkle? Weller?
That's Weller, sir. I had a new suit of clothes, and that was a very particular circumstance with me in those days, the gentlemen of the jury. Quite particular indeed.
You had better be careful, sir.
So Mr. Pickwick said that day, and I have been careful this suit. Yes, I have.
Do you mean to tell me, Mr. Weller, and do you mean to tell these gentlemen that you saw nothing of this fainting on the part of the plaintiff in the arms of the defendant, which you have heard described by the witness?
I was in the hallway till they called me up, and then that old lady wasn't there.
Out of 10, Mr. Weller. You were in the passage and yet saw nothing of what was going forward. Have you a pair of eyes, Mr. Weller?
Yes, I have a pair of eyes, sir. And that's it. Now, if I had a pair of patent, double million gas microscopes of extra power, I might be able to see through a flight of stairs and a double door, but being only eyes, you see, my vision's quite limited.
Now, Mr. Weller.
Now, sir.
I'll ask you a question on another point, if you please.
Well, it'll please me quite well, sir.
Do you remember going up to Mrs. Bardell's house one night in November last?
Yes, sir, I do.
I thought we should get at something at last.
I rather thought that too.
I suppose you went up to have a little talk about this trial, eh, Mr. Weller?
I went up to pay my master's rent outstanding and to get the last of his things. But we did get a talking about the trial.
Oh, you did get to talking about the trial. Now, what passed about the trial? Will you have the goodness to tell us?
With all the pleasure in the world, sir. After a few unimportant observations from the virtuous females, as was a visit in Mrs. Bardell, the ladies got into a great state of admiration at the honorable conduct of Mr. Dodson and Monsieur Fogg, those two gentlemen as are sitting with her now.
The attorneys for the plaintiff. Well, the ladies spoke in high praise of the honorable conduct of Messrs. Dodson and Fogg, the attorneys for the plaintiff, did they?
Oh, high praise indeed. They said how wonderful it was for them to have pressed the case on speculation and to charge nothing at all for costs and to get all on board of Mr. Pickwick.
Really? It's perfectly useless attempting to get any evidence to the impenetrable stupidity of this witness. I will not trouble the court by asking him any further questions. Stand down, sir.
Would any other gentleman like to ask me any questions?
Not I, Mr. Weller. Thank you. My lord, if it will save the examination of another witness, the defense is prepared to admit that Mr. Pickwick is a retired businessman of considerable personal property.
Very well. Then that's my case, my lord.
My lord, honored gentlemen of the jury, never in the course of my rather considerable and, I should say, highly successful professional experience have I approached the case with such feelings of deep emotion, nor with such a heavy sense of the responsibility imposed upon me. A responsibility, I dare say, that I could never have supported, were it not for the conviction that is the cause of truth and of justice. Or in other words, the cause of our much injured and most oppressed client, which must and shall prevail with the high-minded judge and intelligent juryman whom I now see before me. Gentlemen, my client is...
Gentlemen!
What?
I will speak.
Sit down.
No, I will be
Pratt,
heard.
hold him down.
Do not touch me. I will be heard. You certainly may sit down. Stand now.
Oh, well.
I have heard myself called plotter, villain, monster, lecher. I have seen my friend badgered and confused upon my behalf. I have seen it all, and I have despaired of justice, despaired of reason, despaired of the abilities of love and friendship and humanity to combat the forces of ignorance and contumely. None of it was true. None of it. And now, Mr. Snubbin will take his turn, I'm sure, and he will tell you all that I am an upstanding gentleman of unblemished reputation and guileless disposition. And none of that will be true either. Not in the mouth of Mr. Snubbin. He doesn't know me. Indeed, he refused to talk to me in his chambers. And yet now he will no doubt deliver some stirring encomium on my behalf, penned for him no doubt by some long-dead hack, and conned by heart by him and applied for these last 30 years to every client of his, be they on trial for mischief or manslaughter. I reject his pleas in advance. I reject them as surely as I reject the mechanical vituperations of his colleague, yes, his colleague, the prosecutor. To those who know me, my virtues, such as they may be, speak for me. To those who do not know me, nothing from Mr. Snubbin will cause them to know me any better. I throw my case, myself, my honor, my future welfare on the compassion and intelligence of this court.
My lord, he's finished. My lord.
Oh, very good, very good. Admirable summation as usual, Brother Snubbin. Well, I now direct the jury to reach a verdict. If Mrs. Barlow is in the right, then it is perfectly clear that Mr. Pickwick is in the wrong. If not, the reverse is likewise the case. If so, you will find damages. If not, not. You may withdraw to deliberate upon your verdict.
I am sure that no deliberations are necessary, nor indeed possible. They have reached their verdict. Let them deliver it.
Gentlemen, is that so? Are you agreed upon your verdict? If so, then state it, for it is almost time for dinner.
We are agreed, my lord.
Do you find for the plaintiff or the defendant?
For the plaintiff.
For the plaintiff! Oh, with what damages?
Half damages, my lord.
For £1,500. Now, let's see, that's,
750.
750, of course. You better watch yourself, my lad.
Fine.
So be it. Dismissed.
Well, sir.
Well, sir.
I imagine you expect to get your costs?
Oh, I think it rather possible.
Then let me announce to you, you shall not one farthing shall you get from me if I have to spend the rest of my life in a debtor's prison. Strikes me that imprisonment for debt cannot be such a very great punishment after all.
Think not, sir?
Well, you heard those people that were shouting and screaming and laughing just now. I do not think they minded very much.
Oh, that's just the thing, sir. They don't mind it at all. It's these other types that minds it. Them that gets damaged by being boxed in. You see, for them that spends their lives in public houses, being in the fleet don't damage them at all. But for those who would get work while they could, and would pay their rent and get out if they could, damages them too much. It's unequal. As my father used to say when his grog, what makes it happen, huh? It's unequal, and that's the fact of it.
And this here is the whole plight.
And up there is the place where they keep the coal for the prisoners?
Up there? That's
the lodge, that is.
Oh, you don't mean to say that human beings live up there?
Don't I? Why don't I?
And live up there?
Live up there, yes, and die up there too. What? Did you think the fleet was a hotel? Hear that, Nettie? Here's a gent what thinks the fleet is a hotel.
Where am I to sleep tonight?
I knowed it. I knowed you'd want a room for yourself. You'll want some furniture too, of course. You'll hire that of me, you know. Why, here's a capital room. It belongs to a chancery prisoner, so let you have it for the price of a loaf once a week. For aging it, I'll take a guinea a week. A gentleman like you won't mind that. Lord, why didn't you say you was willing to come down so handsome?
And where will you sleep while I am having your room?
Poor side, of course, with them in like condition.
It seems that you must be in some noisy and crowded place while I am here. But listen, pray consider this room your own whenever you have need of quiet or when your friends come to visit.
Friends? If I lay dead at the bottom of the deepest mine, tight screwed down and sorted in my coffin, in a ditch that drags slime beneath the foundations of this very prison, I could be no more forgotten. Friends, to see me, I am a dead man.
Ride's rather rusty, don't it, sir? Ah, they're like elephants. They feel it now and again, and it makes them wild. Sleep well, sir.
Sam, what is the poor side?
Quarters for them as can't pay neither rent nor chummage. You remember that starving type chap in the cage in the outside wall when we came in? Well, it ain't always the same chap. You see, he stands it as long as he can, and somebody else takes his place. It's how they get their money for bread and for tea when they get it. I mean, oh, no, sir, I know what you're thinking, but you don't want to see down there, sir. You really don't. Please, no.
Well, this is, I just would not have believed this possible. This is, I would not have believed.
Come on, sir. Even you can't do no good here.
Sam, but that man, that's not
It is.
Nay. So it is Pickwick. Queer place. Strange thing. Serves me right. There.
Mr. Tingle, I should like to speak to you in private. Come.
Certainly.
Already? Not too fast. Leg shaky. Head queer. Earthquakey sort of feeling. Very.
Here, come, give me your arm.
Oh, no!
Rather not, won't indeed. Nonsense. I desire it.
Can't step far. No danger of overwalking. Ground's pretty. Romantic. Not very extensive.
Come, you have forgotten your coat.
Oh, gone. Last coat. Must eat. Wants of nature. Can't help it. Lived on a pair of boots 1 week. Silk umbrella, ivory hand, a whole fortnight.
3 weeks on a pair of boots?
Umbrella. Pawnbroker in here. Near nothing. Small sums. All rascals. Shirt's gone too. Never mind. Saves washing. Soon. Nothing. Lie on ground. Starve. Die. Little bone house. Inquest, so hushed up.
Coroner's order, natural death. Workhouse funeral. Oh, serves him right. All over. Drop the curtain. Pickwick. Good fellow. A grateful dog. Voice to cry. Can't help it. A fever. Deserved it all. Suffered much. Very.
Oh, I've seen enough. My head aches with such scenes, and my heart also. Henceforth, I shall remain a prisoner in my own room. Now, Sam.
Now, sir.
Well, Sam, listen to what I am going to say.
Fire away.
I have felt from the very first that this is not the sort of place into which to bring a young man.
No, an old one neither.
But some old men may come here through their own heedlessness and lack of suspicion, their ignorance of the world, and some certain young men may follow them here through the selfishness of their masters. Sam, it is better for those certain young men that they not remain here. Do you understand me, Sam?
No, sir, I do not.
Try now, Sam. Oh, I see that you do. Now, furthermore, quite independent of my wish that you not remain idling here, perhaps for years, I have come to the conclusion that for a debtor in Fleet Prison to be attended by a manservant is a monstrous absurdity. No, Sam, you must leave me for a time.
Oh, for a time, eh, sir?
Yes, for the time that I am here. Now your wages I shall continue to pay, and any one of my three friends would be most happy to engage you out of respect for me. And should I leave this place, I want you to pledge your word that you will return to me instantly.
Now, I'll tell you what's what, sir. This here sort of thing won't do it all.
I am very serious and resolved, Sam.
Oh, you are you? So am I.
Now, Sam, a word more, I bet you are.
Miss Bardell, I presume.
Why, if it ain't Mr. Jackson of Dodson and Fogg. Why, gracious Mr. Jackson, surely Mr. Pickwick can't have paid the damages or offered marriage. Has anything taken place, Mr. Jackson?
Nothing to disquiet yourself on, ma'am. Only our people want you in the city directly.
Want me?
And your boy.
How odd.
Very important and pressing business which can't be postponed on any account. Indeed, Mr. Dodson said so expressly to me, and so did Mr. Fogg.
Well, in that case, pray introduce me to your friend, Mr. Jackson.
Isaac.
Well?
This is Bardell.
I knowed it.
Miss Emily sends her most fervent regards to you, sir.
As does Mrs. Isabella.
Oh, how glad it makes my heart to see you, sir. That is to say, it's magnificent how well you're dealing with these horrible conditions. That is to say, it's lovely weather on the outside. That is to say, oh, sir.
About this here bill of costs, ain't it?
My bill of costs? I'm very sorry that Mr. Dodson and Mr. Fogg can't get them. But if you law gentlemen are so kind as to do these things on speculation, why, you must get a loss now and then, you know.
You signed a note for the amount of your cost before the trial, I'm told.
Why, yes, just a matter of form.
Ha! Quite a matter of form, quite.
Perhaps you will find it diverting, sir. It is a small thing, a mere trifle. A bottle of the spirit, you might say, hardly worth the reading.
Get on with it, Snodgrass.
Can I view the, Oh, sir, I might preface with the title. It is called Ode to an Expiring Frog. Based, I might add, upon an actual observation I made in Hampstead Bog upon the late occasion. Can I view thee, panting, lying, on thy stomach without sighing? Can I unmoved see thee dying on a log, expiring frog? Say, have fiends in the shape of boys with wild halloo and brutal noise haunted thee from marshy joys with a dog, expiring frog?
Bless us, are we at Gray's Inn already?
We're not going to that office, Miss Bardell. Please have the goodness to step in.
Come on, you two boys.
What place is this?
One of our public offices. Look sharp, Isaac.
Safe and sound, in you go.
And then Miss Emily said, oh, I can hardly keep from smiling when I recall it. Oh, she's such a charming girl, really such a lively wit, especially in relation to domestic matters. Oh, I should hardly under other circumstances countenance such a remark, particularly as it was addressed to that fine old lady whose only imperfection is a copious lack of the ability to hear. And then Miss Emily said, Grandma, if you can't hear the spring springing, then surely you can't hear the fall fall. I assure you the witticism was most keenly appreciated by all at the table, especially by Mr. Wardle, though he succeeded in suppressing his laughter. Oh, such a charming family, and Dingley Dell is such a charming place that I could happily spend the rest of my days enjoying those unlimited vistas of field and sky and those healthy outdoor occupations such as... Oh, sir, I beg your pardon.
Here we are at last, Miss Bardell, all right and tight.
What do you mean?
Just this. There never was a more delicate man than Mr. Dodson, nor a more humane man than Mr. Fogg. It is their duty in the line of business to take you and the boy in execution for them costs. But they was anxious to spare your feelings, so see how gently it's all been done.
What place is this?
What place?
Why, this is the police prison.
Wish you good night, Miss Bardell. You too, boy.
Oh.
Well, my dear sir, the only question I now have to ask you is whether this woman is to remain here.
How can you ask me that? The answer lies with Dodson and Fogg. You know that, Mr. Perker.
It does not rest with Dodson and Fogg, sir. It rests entirely with you, wholly, solely, entirely. You alone can free this woman from this den of wretchedness. And that can only be done by your paying the whole cost of this, yours and hers.
Sam!
Sorry to interrupt such pleasant proceedings as the King said when he dissolved the Parliament. But I must, as this is a situation of life and death.
You seem very determined, Sam.
I take my determination on principle, as does my master, which puts me in the mind of the man who cut off his own head on principle and was very glad of it afterwards. In any case, what I come to say is this. I'm a prisoner here now.
You, Sam?
I was taken this very morning for debt, and the man who put me in won't let me out until you yourself come out.
Bless my soul, but Sam...
No use butting to me, as the lady in the cast iron girdle said to the goat. But here I am, and here I is to stay, and if it's for 40 years, damn me, I'm glad on it.
Sam...
Ah, no use, sir. Although it will be quite hard, and she who does depend on me will be quite embarrassed if I don't get out.
Now, I insist that you...
No use insisting to me, sir. I'm without no power, as Samson said to the barber. Now, if you want to insist to someone, insist to him that's put me in here, and her who won't come out unless, actually, her who won't be happy unless I come out. Do come in, sir. You come in too, Mary. Mind your belly.
Oh, Mr. Wardle!
Dear friends.
And Mary, how come? How could you?
Act of God, you might say. Although I prefer to think of it as taking things into my own hands. Now, I suppose as how you won't relent on the situation of my debt to you, will you, sir?
Not until your master agrees to free himself.
And I suppose that's how you won't marry a Fleetbird, eh, Mary?
Mary Fleetwood, never!
There you has it, sir.
Mr. Pickwick, I put it to you. A jury has decided against you. Their verdict was a wrong one, but still they thought it right, and it was against you. You now have the opportunity of placing yourself in a far higher position than ever you would by remaining here, which can only be imputed to sheer, dogged, wrong-headed, brutal obstinacy. Nothing else, sir, believe me. Are you willing to turn down this opportunity, which restores you to your friends, your former pastimes, your health, your amusements, which liberates your faithful servant and she who depends upon him, when above all it enables you to take that magnanimous revenge by releasing that poor deluded woman from scenes of misery and wretchedness which no man or woman should ever be consigned to. Mr. Pickwick, I speak not only as your legal counsel, but also as your very true friend. Are you willing to let slip the opportunity for doing all this good for the paltry consideration of a few pounds finding their way into the pockets of a couple of clever rascals for whom money makes no manner of difference? The more they earn, the more they'll seek, and the sooner they'll be led into some scheme of knavery which will bring them down with a crash. Sir, I have put these considerations to you feebly and imperfectly, but I ask them to turn them over in your mind. I and those who depend upon you must now wait patiently for your answer.
Oh, come, sir. No need to be so cast down. Now that Winkle and Snodgrass has gone back to Dingley Dell to pay their respects to Miss Emily and Miss Isabella, I'm sure if I know the disposition of that merry Mr. Water, we'll all have celebrating to do in no time. And I'm sure as how Mr. Tubman will come to visit us often, as he ain't got no one else. Traveling's all well and fine, sir, for them as cannot abide the jostling, eh? Why, sir, you're all a tremble. Dear old man, you just want your own bed and a nice warm toddy, you do.
I heard Sam.
Home it is, sir. And not to stir till spring, as the farmer said to the sea.
I want to go home, Sam. Very much.